Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
You know this world has gone insane. It is absolutely no secret. But tonight, Saturday night, you are about to experience the true measures of what that insanity can bring you. Tonight, you are about to see Ball and Bonkers, the one-of-a-kind show that delves deep into the world with no holds barred. Now, meet your hosts, Dakota Francis, specialist of the strange, and Crystal Mule, the UFO fanatic. Now, give it up, and let's see what these two idiots can bring you.
Ladies and gentlemen, these two idiots proudly presented our favorite Batman and Robin team, Bryan from Huntophobia, Parapost, and Lex, and hopefully he's one of the Robins that actually wears fucking pants. Here to talk about ghost hunting, global ghost hunting, all that. These guys are way too much to keep track of.
I know. Bryan, Lex, welcome to our show tonight. Look at that. We've got 215 people watching this as we speak throughout the network, throughout all the channels. So I hope you guys are well. And we were discussing before the show, guys, that Bryan has a Christmas tree behind him, but in actual fact, it's not a Christmas tree. It's just a decorational tree that lights up. So there you go.
And I actually said it. I don't think it becomes a Christmas tree until you actually put decorations on it. But unfortunately, the branches are so brittle, I don't think it would hold anything, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, your age, that's expected for your wood.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And the other big news, ladies and gentlemen, this is fantastic news. Lex has had a haircut.
Lex got a haircut. And you know what? As a former stylist or hairstylist,
really?
Because I was a hairstylist for 13 years. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. And I haven't had a good look at it yet, but in actual fact, and Lex, I love you. You know I love you. But it's actually making his head look bigger.
that and the beard coming down, yeah, got a long head.
But it looks good. I like it.
Actually, yeah, I think he looks younger. Actually, I mean, what age are you? Like, out of curiosity, anyway, you're only in your 20s anyway. So
yeah, I'm 29.
So my question is, why? Why'd you cut it?
I got bored of having. Well, not bored. I got annoyed at having to keep looking after it all the time. You can tell when your hair's dirty when it's long.
Yeah.
It was a ball ache to have it tied back all day, so like I was starting to get a lot of headaches. And then I realised that I've got a really beautiful neck tattoo that I couldn't see anymore, so I shaved my head. So now I can see it.
I like it. I like it.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
So, oh wow.
So guys,
you really
you just think of the ladies will be chasing you up and down the street now, Lex, you know? And I didn't know that about you, Bryan. I did not know that about you. You were a hairstylist.
I was a hairstylist
that actually
for 13
explains a couple
years.
of things.
Well, no, not really. I don't think it explains anything, actually.
Oh my God.
No, I loved hairstyling. It was great. But it got to a certain point where by the time it got to the blow dry, I was done, and I wanted them out of my chair, to be honest. You know, the famous thing is hairstylists. As hairstylists, and I'm sure a lot of people can vouch what I'm going to say. People, when they're sitting in your chair, they can talk about all kinds of stories. And it came down to, and to be perfectly honest, it came down to one thing that made me decide that I didn't want to do it anymore. I had a lady sit in my chair. I knew her for a total of 10 minutes, and I knew her whole life story. She was having an affair on her husband. The man that she was sleeping with, he was having an affair on his wife. It was a big whole thing, and it was like, and then she started to cry. And it was like, okay, I need to get out of this industry now after I heard that. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then, Lex, would you like to tell us any jobs that you've had in the past that we don't know of?
I don't think so.
We're not quite bald and bonkers for nothing. Come on, so,
I've pretty
it's
much.
a time of sharing.
I've only worked in restaurants and bars. That's all I've done.
Yeah. You never get somebody that didn't tip you.
No.
Come on.
Oh no, I did actually. I did used to. My first job, I was a leaflet distributor for corner shops. Every cash in hand, every Saturday, having to deliver to 500 houses. And after you deliver about 100 of them, I decided to just go and bury the rest of them in the river. And I did this every single week, and I got paid because they didn't know. And then eventually, because I was too quick, someone followed me into. And the funny thing is, where I did it, where I used to bury them, was actually the place where I filmed my 3-part Clewer Hill series. I used to go into that forest and chuck them in the river. And I came back one day and they were like, did you go into Clewer Park? And I was like, no. He's like, well, we found this. And he pulls out like a wet leaflet, which he'd brought back with him. And I was like, I guess so. He still paid me for the day. And then he was like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. So I was like, all right, cool.
See, Heather knows. Heather knows. Heather Johns. Look what she wrote. Hairstylists and nail techs know all the dirt.
That's very true.
Not wrong.
That's very true.
There's something you're going to learn something for this, Brian. You're going to learn that the fact is, when it comes to the global ghost hunt, you've got to be giving out flyers. You don't get Lex to do it.
Duly noted.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because I'm looking towards entering or putting in the Global Ghost Hunt to the Unexplained next year in Bosworth. And so I'm going to need Lex to go out there and take care of it for a day. Now, the question is he really going to go out there?
Yes.
That brings up a lot of questions.
The difference is this. I actually care about this one. I didn't care about the offers in Cost Cutter Shop.
Yeah. So Global Ghost Hunt, I'm looking to put a table in the Unexplained next year. And hopefully Lex and Robin and Nando and hopefully Sarah will be taking care of it both days. Mm-hmm. So so that's probably going to be our. I'm planning on doing at least 5 Paracons next year. So for the Global Ghost Hunt. So want to get it out there. Need to get it out there.
While you're here, Brian, why don't you tell everybody that's watching all over the networks or the different channels all about Global Ghost Hunt?
I think Lex can say it so much better than me.
Oh, come on. When you go for it, then.
And I will say that Lex is the director of the Global Ghost Hunt. I think when it comes from somebody who's from the UK, it sounds so much better than a Canadian saying it.
Yeah, why do you think all the villains are British?
It's true. We can carry a nation with this voice.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm putting it in the English accent when I'm Scottish.
Yeah,
everyone says they're attracted to his accent, but can't understand a fucking word.
Well, this is it. This is it, right? Sometimes it is difficult to understand, Chris. I like it when he sends me a voicemail message or a voicemail message over Messenger, and it's
I'm going to send you a special
I understand about 35% of it.
Yeah, it took me about 3 months of working with him to understand what the...
You see, I'm actually doing you a favour here, Brian. I'm training you in the lingo of my language. So when you come to the UK with Lex to investigate in Scotland, you'll be able to understand all of us Scots.
Oh, look at that.
Well, that
a
depends.
fellow Canadian right there. Melissa.
Who's that in the chat? Melissa
She's
Hooney.
from Toronto.
Hello from Toronto, Canada.
I am from Toronto as well. So do you want to go? You want to do it, Lex? Or you want me to do it?
No, I can do it. It's fine.
Okay, perfect.
I'll
Coming
just sit back
soon.
and listen and correct anything that he says.
Yeah, coming soon to a paranormal investigation near you. So the Global Ghost Hunt. I mean, the clue's in the fucking name, son. It's a massive event. So our company, twice a year, we have two different, both of them are 10 days, isn't it? So 10 days in May, 10 days in October, where we host, we are the hosting platform basically for a worldwide ghost hunting event where teams and locations can sign up to do it with us. And in that case, they get a whole bunch of things from us to them while doing this investigation, places to stream, thumbnails, all this, that, and the other. But more than that, it's a shared experience over the same course of 10 days that we all get to take part in one massive hunt and show everybody what we're doing, what we're finding, and we're learning from everybody at the same time. It's going to be an all-around paranormal experience that I don't think anyone's ever done to the degree that we're going to do it. So, fill in, Brian.
Fill in. So, you said that was pretty good. That was good. There was a lot of good things there in a quick 45 seconds. And, no, I liked it. I thought it was great. And honestly, Lex is put it right on point. And the Global Ghost Hunt is, and I will say the dates, and the dates are between May 4th and May 14th and October 19th and the 29th of next year, where it will start. Really, at the end of the day, the Global Ghost Hunt was really about not only about the teams, but it was about the locations as well. As in paranormal investigators, we truly believe, or I truly believe, that a lot of these locations are being torn down for whatever the reason may be. So really, this was not only about the teams, yes, but really more about the locations and preserving these locations from being torn down and being destroyed or being vandalized or whatever. And that we might even have some locations out there that nobody's ever heard of. And that will... Go ahead, Chris.
Can you tell us some of the locations? Can you tell us just maybe a couple?
Well, I will tell you a location that just recently signed up with us, and that would be Gilchrist Jail in Florida. Right. And they signed up, and hopefully, yes, Melissa, next year. So hopefully, we do have a team that's probably going to be with them. We already have a team ready for them if they want. But generally, when the locations sign up, they really have to look for their own teams. But if we have a team that signs up that doesn't have a location and happens to be in the same area, then we'll team them up and they can investigate their location. So really, at the end of the day, we talk about the teams a lot, but really it's more about the locations and about saving these locations from being destroyed. And like I said, there might even be a location that might sign up that nobody's ever heard of. And the reason they're signing up is because they want to get more publicity. They want to get more marketing. They want to get more people in there to investigate. Because to be perfectly honest, these locations to run are expensive. Especially if you have like a prison or if you have an asylum or something like that. They're expensive to run. We all know what's going on with, Waverly Hills. There's a prison that I go, it's about 4.5 hours from me. He owns the property. He needs people to go in there as well. And he doesn't charge a lot. He only charges I think it's like $30 per person or $20 per person. And, which is obviously fantastic price, but there's a lot of places out there that charge a lot more. And, that's why I think it was so important to have this event for these locations. Yes, teams are important. They are important, but the locations are as important. For example, when I was out in the UK with Lex, we went to that windmill, and it was being constructed, and being refurbished or whatever was happening to it, whatever they were doing it. It's things like that. They need money to preserve them, and they're not going to get the money from the town or a government grant or something like that. So it's events like these that are going to help these locations.
That's absolutely brilliant. There's a lot of places near me. I mean, there's just a castle down the road from me, about 20 miles down the road from me, and it's absolutely stunning, right? But it's falling apart. And it's free entry. It's free entry. So, but it's a shame. It's a shame that these places are falling into disrepair because the government will not give them money to look after these amazing buildings.
Yeah. So really, it was about putting an event together that's going to help everyone, and I mean everyone. Like right from the start, I've said that the people, the teams, the locations, but it's people in the administration staff as well that are helping. That I want people to meet and to know and to see why they have a passion for the field. And so it's important for them to get noticed as well. And this is really comes down to about everybody that's involved is going to get a piece of the pie and really get noticed and, globally. And I think it's important.
And there he is. I was waiting. I was waiting to see how long he would take.
Raymond's clearly been drinking.
Raymond? No, I think he's pretty spot on.
Well, definitely on this bottom right side of the screen. I'll tell you that.
Well, the left isn't doing too bad either. So
I honestly think that you guys, you're doing something really good.
Yeah,
you're doing something really good with Global Ghost Hunting, because I think there is a lot of people out there that do these live events. Some people do these kind of live events, and they're not the best. And I think for you too, it'll be really, really good. I know Lex, because Lex is really good in this kind of area too, because I've worked with him once, And I think you'll be brilliant at this, Lex.
Oh,
well, the other thing too is, and I want people to understand this as well, that what we're doing for people, and I've said this on other shows as well, that everybody that's involved is going to get a piece of the pie and get noticed and get their name out there. But also for sponsors and donators. We're going to have stuff on our website when it comes to, especially the donations. If somebody wants to donate a little bit of money to this event, great. But what we're going to do for them as well is we're going to have a donators page. So you'll go to that page and you'll see everybody that's donated. Now, what I want to do when that starts happening is they can either put their logo or they can put their link. So if somebody goes, well, who are they? And they can click on that link and it will go directly to whatever website or wherever they are on social media, so people can learn about them too. And if it's a business, it can help that business maybe promote their stuff. They could be selling, I don't know, camping equipment, and they're looking to market themselves. And that link will be there. You'll click on that link. You can go over to their website, if it's a website, and maybe purchase something. So it's about helping them as well. They're helping us. We're going to help them.
And the other thing to note as well is obviously Brian told you the dates, and the interesting thing is why we've picked these dates. I mean, the October one, everyone's thinking, it's going to be because it's near Halloween, but it's kind of bigger than that. So both the event days that we're doing are what's known to be the thinnest part of the veil. So that's also a really important factor in those 10 days where hopefully people can experience something incredible in those short time periods, which we wouldn't normally get.
Yeah, and just to add that it just happened, and I know Lex said it's about the thinning of the veil. When I picked those dates originally, I didn't realize those were times of thinning of the veil. It just happened to work out that way, which I think is kind of interesting, and definitely when it comes to paranormal investigators, that's going to help them a lot on their investigations as well.
I think it's going to be absolutely awesome to watch. That is going to be absolutely awesome to watch all around the world, different locations, thinning of the veil. You're going to get a lot of people watching that.
Yeah, as it stands right now, we're looking at being on. At this point right now, that could change. It's probably going to be on around 10 different platforms. And as it stands right now, it could be more. But as it stands right now, it's about 10 different platforms. So they're going to be seen. People are going to be seen. And even the administration staff are going to be out there as well doing investigations. I think it's important for the administration staff to be out there as well doing. I definitely
want to see Lex. I definitely want to see Lex getting locked in some tomb somewhere. You know, I'd pay for that.
Oh, I'm doing an old hospital, so hospital/chapel. That's what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, I think you're doing it with your buddy, right?
Get freaky.
Yeah, so my place is, so me and Bryan did the outside of this location on the tour. I'm going to be doing the inside of it this time around. So for the event.
Is that the one with, what's her name? The famous, what was her name again?
I always forget her name, but yeah, the really famous doctor lady.
What was her name? Florence
Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale,
yeah.
And
Florence Nightingale.
She hated this hospital because she said it's built the wrong way. So instead of facing a certain direction, it's built the wrong one, and it's attached to a war memorial grave site. So that's where I'll be going. It's right at the southern border of the UK.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I think I know the one that you're talking about. Yeah, Florence Nightingale. She was an unusual person. Yeah.
Yes, she was.
So you've also got Parapost Network, haven't you, Bryan? I mean, that's it's like Facebook, but it's obviously just for like ghost hunting and UFO and whatever people.
Yeah, you know what? If I knew then what I know now, to be perfectly honest, it's been great, but it's been a pain in my butt as well. Yeah. To be honest, I talked about it last night I interviewed on Parapost Live last night. I interviewed Todd and Marissa, and we were talking about it. I wish things could be perfect. They're not. Unfortunately, I know even Facebook for the last 28 hours, 29 hours, like I'm able to look at the shows on my phone, but I can't see the shows on Facebook. And I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but Facebook's been acting really weird for the last couple of days. And
it's been getting hacked. I know that. Seemingly it was in the news about it. I think it's been hacked a bit. So I think it's this Russian thing and all this stuff that's happening all over the world and stuff.
Oh, really?
I think there's a lot of there's like Iran and Russia and all these places. I think there's a lot of problems with Facebook right now. Yeah. I know a lot of people have had problems.
Yeah. So Parapost Network is growing. But we moved host about, and I'm sure Dakota can back me up on this. I moved host about a month ago, and we are now on what's called a dedicated server. Well, unfortunately, when you go to a dedicated server, there's a lot more things that are entailed with that. When you're on a shared server, it's not a big deal. But when you're on a dedicated server, there's things that you have to do within the site that it's going to work with the dedicated server. Oh, yeah. So we had to upgrade the site in the back. We had to add a module in order to upgrade the site. There's been a lot of since we moved over. Everything that was in the back site had to be upgraded for the dedicated servers. So we've been having some issues here and there. But we'll get it sorted out. We'll sort it out. And but I will say the uploading speed or downloading speed to download stuff is a lot quicker. When videos go up from YouTube onto Parapost, it's like that now. It's not like it was before where they had to wait. Like it was like 5 hours, 6 hours before it went up onto the site. So it's like goes like that now. So that's great. But there's a lot of things in transition when it comes to Parapost Network. There is a feature I want to add soon that I think is really going to help the site. I'm hoping by this time next year, or I'm hoping before May, that will have the live ready to go, and that will be part of the Global Ghost Hunt as well. And people will go live on that site as well. So there's a lot of things coming up. It's a work in progress, but can you agree with me, Dakota, when you're moving to a dedicated server, it's a lot different than a shared server.
Oh, yeah. I can validate that.
Yeah. So, yeah, there always seems to be, like I said, if I knew then what I know now, I might have had second thoughts about Parapost Network.
Technical stuff. That's why I've got Dakota here. He's got it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I love that I have it, and I think it's great for people that wanted that. But at the end of the day, it's been a lot more work than I anticipated, to be honest. So I thought it would put it up and then it would just grow, and no, it doesn't work that way. So
Lex, my friend, do you not have an announcement that you want to make? You had a wee announcement you wanted to make, didn't you?
Is that
Cue the Jaws theme. Cue the Jaws theme. Cue the Jaws theme.
Come on.
Yeah.
Not an announcement. Just wanted to talk about something I saw on YouTube the last couple of days. Now, I'm assuming, Brian,
there we go.
Dakota and Chris, I'm pretty sure your audience has a brain cell, right? I'm going to go that far and say that they're a pretty intelligent group. I mean, they must be a bit bonkers if they're watching this show, because that's what the point is. But they must be smart, right? So I'm going to safely assume that there is no one who watches this show who is a fan of Mo Saji. If you disagree with that statement, please let me know, and I'll tell you. But something really funny happened this week. So it's my favorite thing. I don't know why I still watch these channels, but this is why. But he put up a video where he's like staying in this abandoned house, and he's barricaded himself in there with a friend of his, and then he's got a machete, and there's someone who's dressed up like a clown. Thanks, Raymond. There's a guy dressed up like a clown with a blowtorch who's trying to get into the house and whatnot. And if
There's always a bald joke, isn't there?
Yeah, every time. And so if you watch this video, you can see the clown figure is trying to burn down the front door, and there's a really funny bit, and he's now edited it and re-uploaded it, so it's not there anymore. But we'll get to that in a second. But there's a really funny bit in the original video where he's forgotten to take the edit out, where he's instructing the person outside the front door to kick the door to make it scarier, which is incredibly funny, because I was reading the comments and everyone, I commented on it, because everyone was commenting like, I really hope you're okay, you should have called the police, why do you keep putting yourself in harm's way? And I guarantee all these channels that are commenting are probably going to be in their early teens, like children. And that's why I have an issue with it, because they're genuinely worried for him. And then I commented on it saying, is no one going to address the fact that he's left the edit in where he's telling his buddy outside what to do? And we know Mosaji's good at leaving edits in. I remember on Through the Lens.
I don't understand. I really don't. Why does he do that?
Have you not seen obviously, I spoke about him before when he left the edit in where he was telling his buddy not to open the door too quickly. And I remember we joked about that.
I never saw it, but I remember you telling me.
Yeah, so this came up. So anyway, I'm assuming he was aware that people had noticed that he left the cut in and he took it down. And thankfully, there is a superhero on YouTube who a lot of paranormal people probably don't like, but I love him. His name is The Shape. If you haven't seen him, he's the guy in the hockey mask who tears down these big fake YouTubers. And he did a really good one where he has downloaded the clips of the edit, so you can still see it and see what he's done. And if you go to the video now and you skip to that time, you can see that he's re-uploaded it with that bit cut out. So I just wanted to talk about that, just touch on that and let people know that he's an absolute fucking fake ass clown. And
do you feel better, Lex? You feel better?
Yeah,
this is
a little bit.
A healing show.
I just don't get. And so it's not the fake stuff is not what I have a problem with, because we all know it's not real as adults. I don't like that he's putting worry into little kids. That's the bit that pisses me off. Yeah. There are kids like when if you go to the video now, and look at the comment section. It's all these youngsters that are genuinely showing concern, and it's misguided. Like, I don't understand that. I reckon he could fake his death tomorrow, and one of his friends could put up a video saying, "Oh, Mosaji's been killed," and all these kids would probably get upset about it, and that would probably hurt the kids. So I have no respect for this dude whatsoever, and I just wanted to bring it up on there. So if anyone does watch his channel and sees that video, don't believe it, because the edit is there. And if you would like to see the edit, watch the Shape's new video on it. It's fucking hilarious. I just wanted to touch on that because obviously, as we know, I like to let people know when people are doing this stupid stuff, like Huff doing the Queen video.
That was just ridiculous. That was just ridiculous. When you go, Lex, do tell everybody about this.
So I was just enjoying. Well, I wasn't enjoying myself. It was the day the Queen died. I just got back from work, and I was just scrolling Twitter, and someone put up a thing saying, "I can't believe Half Paranormal's done this again." And without even looking, I went, "I bet you he's done a fucking Queen video." And I'm English, so I took a lot of offense to it. So I saw the video, and I was like, "You fucking idiot." And I was like, again, he has no class about him whatsoever. I have no respect for any of these YouTubers that do it either. Like, I know there's a lot of bigger ones that every time a celebrity dies, the first thing they do is they're straight online and doing this kind of stuff. And I find it I mean, I know that we deal with the dead. It's kind of our thing. But when we're talking to Joseph Smith, who died in 1712, I don't think it's as disrespectful to try and talk to him as it is to someone who died today. When people genuinely are upset about that person dying, and not to mention he's getting paid to do it, so he's using the death for money, and that's another thing I really disagree with. If my channel was monetized and I was doing a video where I was going to have to touch on recent death subjects, I wouldn't monetize the video, just out of that respect. I would do something in it to get it demonetized, like get my bum out and on the screen, like anything to demonetize the video. Because I'm not going to profit off of someone else's loss in recent times. Now, again, from 1700s, it's a bit different. 300 years have passed. You know, you've got to have some grace and decorum, and it's people like him that, again, it all goes down to the reason why we're all discredited as a real scientific field. It's because of these assholes that fake the videos and then are disrespectful to recent times. I think he did one when Betty White died, like on the day, and I called him out for it then as well. So
the one. The one that annoyed me the most. The one that annoyed me the most was with that Huff Paranormals. The one where he went in. Did you see the one, Lex, where he went into the graveyard? And he started using his ghost box, and there was a funeral just across the way. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that. No.
He's in the graveyard.
He's such a distasteful.
3 graves down, like 3 graves or 4 graves down. There's a funeral, and seemingly the guy comes through from the funeral. I mean,
I beg he turns up to one of my family members' funerals. I beg for him to do it because he'll be the next person that gets buried. He's just an absolute joke of a human being. I don't get it. I don't like. Is money worth that little, that much to you? So the dignity of it being a human being means so little. I don't understand it whatsoever. But yeah, this is stuff that really pisses me off, and this is why I like the fact that stuff like what Bryan does when he's bringing the real paranormal community together on this network, and we're networking and we're building things together, and the community is looking better with the people that are in there compared to the ones that are on the elite side of YouTube, if you will. That's what it is.
There's a lot of fakers out there, and it's getting ridiculous now. And at least with the global ghost hunting, that a lot of real people will get seen for a change.
That's the important thing for me. That's why I make a big point on teams, because we're always overshadowed by these people. Like, so when I do a video and I do something in a video, and so I think I got a comment on one the other day that I removed, where they're like, "Oh, you're just doing this because Jasko did it," and I was like, "No, I did it because every paranormal YouTuber does it. You just happen to watch him." But thank you for coming over to my video and shitting on it. So cheers, mate. So and again, they're coming from notoriously fake channels like Jasko, and then shitting on what we're doing. It's like the reason why it's not working for me is because this is what it actually is. This is what paranormal life is. It's not an action movie every time you go out and film a fucking video. And obviously they don't like hearing this. So like when I replied to it before I deleted the comments, because I was couldn't be able to argue on my comment section. I mean, they know where my Twitter is. I'll argue publicly on there. But it's like, as soon as I put on there, I was like, well, then explain how this happened then. Why did he do this? Why does he never show his Randonautica screen when he's telling you where the locations are going to be? Because he's lying to you. And you didn't like the comment, and he called me a really, really horrible word. So I was like, okay.
Did he really?
Yeah, it called me a cunt, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Sorry for the hard. Sorry for the C-bomb.
You're just relaying it for historical accuracy. That's all it is.
And again, this person is probably a young person. I don't know anyone my age or above who's a fan of Jasko. Everyone I know watches it are in their teens, like maybe early 20s at most, like 20, 21, or just getting into YouTube, but that's about it.
But all they're doing for is the money. When you go,
yeah. No, I was going to say Lex wasn't there last week on Through the Lens, but I was talking about two individuals that are on YouTube as well that like to fake videos, and I actually have proof that they fake videos. And about a month and a half ago, I was on a live. I can't recall who it was, the live I was doing with, but I said something about it, and in the comments below, it was obviously a young person. I think it was a young girl, and she was disgusted. How can you say those bad things about my buddies, and they're my close friends? I'm going to go over and tell them what you said. And it's like, go ahead, go over and tell them what I said, because I know that they fake videos. And it was definitely somebody young. And I can't remember what live I was on. It's Sam and Colby, and I'll call them out. And,
they're massively fake, yeah.
And I did a location, the documentary that's going to be coming out that I did back in January, and 2 weeks before I was there, they were there. And with that girl off of TikTok that doesn't live too far from me either. She's got something like 25 million followers on TikTok. And what's her name? Boo Boo, or I can't remember who it is. And she tells bad jokes at times, and she also does paranormal. And but anyways, she took them there, and the general manager followed them around everywhere. And they were doing stuff that nothing was going on at that point. They were, they were downstairs in the basement, and all of a sudden they went, oh, like that, and nothing happened. And the general manager, by the time they left, she was pissed. And, because they were going to be representing the Old Angel Inn, as now these two people are coming here. People know they fake videos. Now, is this place really haunted? Yeah. And, and it is.
I used to like those two as well when they used to do the urban exploration videos. I used to watch them religiously. I mean, I think my first ever New Year's Eve special, I put them in my top 5 paranormal lists. And then less than a month later, I took it off the list. I was like, nope.
Yeah. So that person I think it was a little girl, that she was really pissed at what I had to say because it was her friends. Well,
have you ever noticed when you call something out, like, because I do it all the time. Like I publicly do it. I called out Jodie Dean on YouTube and Twitter. Twice. I called out Omar almost weekly. Today I've called out Jasko and Mosaji. And the thing is, like, when I do this, they know that I'm right, because not a single one of them responds to me. Now, a lot of people will say to me, oh, it's because you're a small channel. It's like, yeah, I might be a small channel, but I'm making a lot of fucking noise. Mm-hmm. Look how many people are watching me on a live stream every week. We get numbers. Like, people see who I am. So it's like, I know I'm not a big name. I'm not a big person, but I know they're aware of. We know Jody knows who I am. Because he made that response where he wouldn't speak to us directly, didn't he? So
Jody doesn't like me at all, supposedly. That day that we did that show on Betrayal and Fakers, Jody, from what I understand, Jody knows exactly who I am, or whatever, and he does not like me at all, supposedly.
I always offer them. I say to them, you come and speak to me one-to-one and show me raw footage of you doing stuff without it being cut up. And that way, I will know you're telling the truth. But you won't do that because you are lying. And this is what I've said to Brian. Like every time I do an investigation, so like let's say the UK tour videos, I haven't put any of those videos out yet because I'm still putting them all together. But when they're done, I keep each of my SD cards for all the investigations. I change the cards, so I'll keep it. If there is anyone who disputes it, I will, and if they're in the UK, even better, because I will travel down to meet them in a coffee house with my computer. They can bring their computer, and I'll give them the SD card with the 17 hours of footage on it, and they can look at it themselves. Because our cameras don't get turned off. They're on all the time, blowing battery out after battery out. You just leave them going. So it's like I always do it, and I've had someone who I work with deny something that I've seen, and I was like, okay, I can show you the actual thing, and they were like, yeah, okay. So I did. I brought it in. There you go. There's the original file. Listen to it yourself. And it's when I was being growled at in Clewer Hill. And it's like, just listen to that. You can see it's not us three because we're sat here. So who the fuck is doing that? And I even say in the video, I don't claim it to be paranormal. I just say something is growling at us, but it can't be. There's nothing here. And it's just a weird thing. So I was like, none of them will come forward and say anything about it because they know they're in the wrong. Especially Omar. Omar's like the biggest thief out of all of them. But
what do you think about this comment from Emma?
Oh, God damn.
Dakota, do you know who he is?
I was about to say, doesn't he actually admit he fakes it for entertainment purposes?
He did recently, yes. After I think it was about last year, where UGUE came out and announced that they were faking everything and that they were apologizing for it. I'm pretty sure he did it. He did
Joe
it as well.
From Urban Explorations.
Urban Explorations, yeah, UGUE.
Yeah, he admitted that he was faking videos.
Yeah, so did CJ.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And there was a funny, and I mean the fact that CJ works with Jasko, you know he's bullshitting anyway. If they work together, you know they're faking it. That's how it works. But so CJ, he did a video where you can see his hand open a cupboard, and he didn't edit his hand out of it. So he's like holding the camera like this, and he's panning round, and the cupboard door is meant to open behind him, and he's actually got the camera pointed here, and you see his hand open the cupboard like this as he turns around. So that's number one. And then I think, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he put a thing out saying he admitted faking videos. Because there was 4 groups who came out and said they were faking stuff. I'll have to double check it, but I'm 90% sure that he was one of the ones that came out. Because I remember speaking about it when they did. Because G Team did it, UGUE did it, CJ did it, and then there was another one who said that they had been involved in staging videos. And I was like,
what about Carlos? What about Carlos?
Well, Carlos the Fam.
Yeah.
Anyone with the word "the fam" in their name, just fuck them off.
Yeah, right.
Anyone. If it's something the fam, write them off. If it's South Cac, sack it off. Not for being fake, just for being fucking just pitiful all the time. Crying on Twitter because we didn't get 1 million views. Well, you never have. So why are you upset about it? Be thankful for the thousands that you get. Why are you? We're gonna quit YouTube because we don't get engagement. Okay, so why?
Who are you talking about now? Who are you talking about?
That's the South Cax channel.
Oh, God.
Yeah. There's loads of problems in this field, man. They all do it. They're the funny ones. Henley was another one that did it, where they were like, got upset that they weren't getting engagement, so they announced that they're going to quit on Twitter because of it, and then they didn't quit. And I was like, why do you do that? It just makes you look like an attention. If I went on Twitter tomorrow, and I went, that's it, I quit YouTube, I'm not doing this anymore because none of you lot are engaging in my content. And then next week, I'm like, new video uploaded. Da, da, da. You look like a fucking idiot. I don't have integrity about yourselves, guys. But no, to answer the original question, CJ is also fake. There we go. If I have your, if you've got a Twitter page, message me and I will send you the video where he does that as well, so you can see him faking it. I don't just call people fake for the fun of it, even though it is fun.
The Southcocks haven't seen in ages. And every other day he was putting a video up on Twitter crying.
Yeah, but don't forget they were also doing like 12 to 15 hour live streams of them not doing anything, just talking to a camera for 15 hours because they were trying to get the runtime up.
Yeah.
And they did it every single day, and it'd be like, that's why no one's watching your content. When I look up a channel and I see they've uploaded live streams, do you think I'm going to sit there and watch 13 hours of footage? No.
Yeah.
The engagement of a YouTube video is 23 minutes.
Well,
You think I'm going to sit through 15 hours? If you're wondering why you're not getting engagement, it's because your videos are too long. I mean, one, you're boring as shit as well, but your videos are too long. My videos are too long. My videos are 50 minutes long. I know mine are too long.
I think this was about 2 years ago. I think he put up a video up on Twitter crying because he'd been doing this for so long. He still was trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and he was crying about that because 3 people were watching his videos, and it was just like, why are you on Twitter crying about this? Like, seriously, you think this is helping your cause at all?
It's just weird. I've had videos that don't perform well. There are some videos on my channel where you can actively see that it's not a good video. Like, maybe I poorly edited it. Yeah. Maybe the investigation wasn't exciting. I mean, I get that. If the investigation, nothing happens and it's boring, it's going to be a poor video. I already know that, but I still upload those anyway. But if it's like, I don't go on Twitter and then moan about it. What I do is I try and look at it. And I'm like, okay, why did this video not perform well? Oh, they turned it off in 25 minutes and I uploaded a 45-minute long video. Okay, so what did I do? What did I learn from that? Cut the video in half, upload part 1, part 2. And then I instantly saw something bigger. Like, it got better. So you just got to do stuff like that. You don't go on Twitter and moan that, and it makes you seem so. Is it ungrateful? I'm looking for ungrateful for the amount of attention you already have. I'm grateful for. I've got 305 subscribers. That's it, and I'm grateful to each and every single one of them, even the one that keeps fluctuating to unsubscribe and then resubscribes, because every day, you know. YouTube seems to think someone's on the fence about me because one day it's 304, then it's 305, then it's 304, and I'm like, dude, just stay on. There's good things coming to the channel, my G. Come on. But it's stuff like that. So it's like, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for it. I'm never going to complain.
That's something. What's that? That guy says there. Can you bring that up?
That's
my computer. Oh, here we go.
That's who I interviewed last.
It's hoaxers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, see the people go ghost hunting and then they run away screaming wildly. That's just madness.
Okay. So there's a thing for this though. So,
and that would be CJ.
CJ, yeah. If it's a knock and they run off screaming, like someone knocks on a wall, that'd be a thing. If something came crashing through the ceiling, like a that kind of bang, I'd probably run. Like if it was like sounded like something heavy had landed next to me, I'd probably run away. But the knocks, I do understand that. It is frustrating. The other thing that's frustrating is if there's a knock at the other side of the room and they don't straight away run round with the camera. Again, the top YouTube paranormal channels all do it. Something gets thrown from round the corner and they don't go round the corner to check. They just walk backwards and they're like, "Oh my God, guys, did you see that? Did you see what I was pointing my camera at preemptively? As if I didn't know that was going to happen. Did you see that, guys? Tune in for part 7 when I'm going to go around the corner eventually." And it's like, I just fucking go around the corner. I did it in my first ever video. We heard something run up to our camera. My friend grabs the camera and straight away runs around the corner of the church to see if someone had run up around us. Nothing.
Yeah.
But, that's the point of it. But yeah, I get that. The whole like screaming and running away, it's like, come on. I know it is a scary job to do.
Yeah.
But there is, and some of them over dramatize it for YouTube videos. I get why, because it makes it more exciting to watch. But it's not what if you're there for excitement.
It's getting bad now. You must admit, I was on YouTube last night, just flicking through stuff, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And as you say, there was that case. There was something around the corner, and then he went, "Tune in for the next part, and we'll go round the corner."
Every time.
Right.
Or they show it at the beginning of the video, and it's like, when they do like the intro, it's like coming up, and you see a chair get thrown, and you're like, yes, I'm watching this video. How long's the video?
Or they've got night vision on. And they're creeping about.
How long is the video? 55 minutes? Okay. Wonder whereabouts do you reckon, in that 55 minutes left of video time, that scene is where they throw the chair?
at the very end.
54. Yeah, you get a minute of that, and the rest of it you're sitting him through going, "I'm here by myself. I'm definitely here by myself. I haven't bought a friend of mine who you saw reflected in my sunglasses in my last video saying I was on my own, but I'm definitely..." That was someone, the fam, by the way. Reflected in his glasses. His friend was stood in front of him, and he was like, "I'm here by myself." "But are you? Because I can see your buddy in your eyes. He's in your glasses." Come on. So, but I don't understand it, man. You'd have more fun just doing it legit.
I don't know why folk do it. I honestly don't. I'm going to let Dakota talk because he's not spoke all night there. He's got that new microphone and he's not even saying a word, you know?
Yeah, but I was like, we did an episode not too long ago. It was the weekend that the Queen passed away. Because I started seeing more ads for it pop up. Can you imagine the type of shit that's going to start coming out when more and more people get their hands on this new AI stuff that's supposed to automatically create genuine...
Oh. He'll be back in 3
voices. I mean, you can train. It takes like an hour of someone's voice. An hour of someone's voice, and all of a sudden Alexa has that voice. The way they're marketing it is like, can you imagine telling your grandma to read you a book? And I've seen a little platform where I was telling Chris, we can tell the program to listen to a couple hours of us, and it can create a whole show on its own.
Oh, wow.
And it's the same similar kind of tech to what they used to give Val Kilmer his voice in the new Top Gun.
Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine if these people were actually smart enough to use that stuff?
Oh my God!
No, thanks to you, Dakota.
We heard someone speak. I mean, again, you can shortlist it though. You could just put it in you could put it in another checkbox of don't watch videos. So if they use SLS cameras, don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
If they use that AI technology, don't watch it. If they're using a K2 meter that's on their phone, don't watch it. If they put the word demon in a title, don't watch it. And if their name and if the channel it was uploaded to starts with any of these, you don't watch it. Jasco, Hunting the Dead, Oh My Gosh TV, Sam and Colby, Mindseed TV. There's your list. Follow those and you'll probably find a legit channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to send any complaint letters or any messages at all, please contact Lex. Where can they contact you on your channel? Would you like to just give it?
You can contact me on Twitter at Lex Paranormal YT.
Oh, yeah, I see a lot of people coming your way soon.
My God.
The best thing is, like, I'm not saying anything wrong, though.
No.
Like, if the channel stopped, like, I know people that used to fake videos, has now stopped faking videos, stopped making videos for a long time, and now they've started again. And they're not faking it this time. The difference in quality of what they're doing is better. Yeah, they're not running into flying objects every 10 seconds, and they get bombarded with fake, with some horrible messages like, "Oh, fake," and it's like the person is aware that their integrity is now. The person's aware that their integrity is now gone, but they're doing it properly this time. So I can respect them, and I'm not going to shit on them for it. Forward all complaints. I look forward to dealing with them.
There you go, Lex.
I look forward to writing. I mean, if they're good, if they're legit concerns, I will definitely answer them. If you call me nasty words, it will be a bye-bye. Scratched by a demon. Scratched by,
just
I have no problem with
by
that.
a demon.
Scratched by, I don't mind. You can get scratched by something. It's the demon word I have a problem with. The chance of you running into demonic activity is less than 1% of experience.
Oh, yeah.
It's so small. So it's like...
But that's where you get now. That's where you get now. We're going to the demon house. We're going to the demon castle. We're going to the demon graveyard.
Did everybody enjoy the Randonautica season on YouTube? Because that seems to have died off now, which is good. I don't see many. I don't see a lot of Randonautica videos anymore, which is grand. Now it's all stalker videos, which I've noticed. So again, the 5 people that I mentioned, 4 out of those 5 groups have got a stalker who keeps showing up and trying to kill them. It's weird. It's a weird trend, but I'm glad Randonautica's finally died off because that was terrible.
I know.
Yeah,
I tried that. It was absolute rubbish I've ever tried in my life.
Oh, it's dog shit. That's the thing with the apps, though, isn't it? Like, you can't trust it. I know that people lose. I mean, I've used it. I know that Necrophonic was something that people used.
Yeah.
And I get it. I didn't have enough money for a spirit box, so I used it. So whereas now I don't use it. In fact, I don't use any apps on my phone now.
No, I don't use the Necrophonic anymore ever since I learned who the maker was.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's half, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was researching it because I thought that'd be an interesting show, and everything I found for who created the Necrophonic app bounces back to Huff.
Yeah,
but he was only part owner of it, right? There's somebody else who owned it. I think it's Steven something.
But even still, you don't want to give money to him.
Yeah. But he's not the full owner. He's only partial owner of that app. There's somebody else who owns it as well. I don't know. I used it, and I used it for a while, and I used it for quite a while, and then I just stopped using it. The SB7 is my go-to.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
This thing, just stay off phone apps. That's my advice to everyone. Just don't use the apps.
Yeah, I love the SLS on the phone. I think that's amazing.
Shut up, Brian.
I think it's an amazing app.
The
ghost.
What are you smoking?
No, there's another.
Ghost.
You know what? There's another app out there that I thought it was hilarious, and I downloaded just to see what it was like. It was the one where you can. It's got a on a ship where it detects the sonar. That detects, and this is what it does in the app. And you go around your room and you do this, and then all of a sudden something comes up, and then all of a sudden while you're going to it, all of a sudden there's a really really creepy man in the background of this app, and it was so dumb, and it was like, my God, like somebody actually spent money on this. To get this out there, and I'm gonna go walk around with my phone, and all of a sudden a little spot comes up. Oh, that's where it is. That's where the ghost is. Okay, like honest to fucking God, like seriously.
I've seen that shit for like the 3DS. There's this game called Spirit Camera, and there were some people trying to say, "Oh, it's catching real ghosts." No, it fucking doesn't.
A game designed to show you where ghosts are.
Yeah, the whole concept is looking through a camera that sees spirits, part of the main game. And there was a feature in the game was taking random pictures and having ghosts come up. It's like, if it's real, why does the fucking main ghost in the game pop up in these alleged real photos?
Yeah, that's a massive coincidence, isn't it? The ghost in my house is the same one on the game. Jesus.
What the hell is this game?
You know, Lex, you should get your own radio show just talking about fakers and people that fake stuff in the paranormal.
Well, I'm actually going to write a book. I've decided I'm actually going to write a book. Yeah, I'm not going to do it this year. I've got a lot on this year, but I am going to be writing a book in the future, which is I've already got it's called The Mind of a Paranormalist. If anyone's going to keep an eye out for it,
that's quite a long name, now.
Well,
can you spell it?
Myself. The Mind of a Paranormalist, yes. But the book's going to detail that stuff. I've got it. I know what I'm doing. It's not just going to focus on that, but I am going to talk about that. So I think people are sick and tired of hearing me talk about it. So I was like, you can read it instead.
Yes. Well, we'll need to buy that. You'll need to come on to the show to show off your book once you've
long way off, but
good.
yes, I shall.
You should send a couple of copies to all your favourite ghost hunting people that you were talking about tonight.
Oh, definitely. I'll sign it for them. About Jodie Dean, my biggest fan.
What is Brian doing? Are you looking things up?
I was trying to see if I still had that app on my phone.
It's all coming
in. And because I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
There's loads of people there are people that we've had on through the lens who ask us in the chat about certain apps, and I have to there's one that they want me to look into, and it's actually really expensive, so I'm really on the fence whether or not I'm going to do it, because I don't really want to buy it to dissect it. I think it's over £20 for an app.
For a fucking app.
And I'm kind of nah, that's too much money to blow on something that I'm just going to rip off. So Necrophonic was $9.99. That's as far as I'm going to go. I was like, that was too high. So I don't think I'm paying any. I don't think I'm going to buy the other ones. But like, I do try and look into them for people because I may be very new in the paranormal field. I'm only 2 years in, but there's a lot of in that 2 years I have learned a great deal. And as you boys know, I spend a lot of my time just looking into. I'm either debunking videos, I'm either working on my videos, or I'm looking about what's new in the paranormal world, and is it believable? Is it right? Is it wrong? And that's all I do.
It's like the word that I used to bring up a few times around about you, Lex, is orbs. What do you think about
really
orbs?
Cool? You know what's really cool? People go over to the Global Ghost Hunt website. There's a video on there right now of Barry Fitzgerald talking about orbs. The great debate about orbs.
The great debate about orbs.
Yeah, we know which side of the fence I'm on.
Yeah. Well,
you know what's going to happen. You're going to be in an investigation one day. You're going to be creeping through this haunted castle, and this giant orb is going to chase after you.
I don't deny orbs. I think some orbs are probably legit things. I just don't think you can use them as evidence because of the 900 things to cause them.
That's very true.
So that's why I don't use them. Like there are some that I've seen. We've had a guest on our show where they've showed us clips, and one of them is this orb of light that moves, and I was like, well, I can't really. The way it's moving isn't like an insect. It's not falling like dust. That could be a legit orb. The problem is it's one legit orb in a sea of insects on the lens, rain and dust, and that's why I don't like them. I like seeing them on my own videos. I'm like, oh, this could be an orb, but if you've watched my videos, you'll see that I never point them out.
Yeah,
I don't give them attention. I'm like, for me, I'm like, okay, that could have been an orb. Maybe that's something to come back to later on and do another test in this room. That's what I use them for. They're like markers for me. Other than that, I'm kind of like, if I watch a video and the whole video is showing me 25 minutes worth of orbs, they haven't shown me any evidence, in my opinion.
I agree.
So we're near at the end of the show, but first I'm going to go to Lex.
Already?
Lex, would you tell everybody? I know, Lex. Could you tell everybody where they can find you? I know they can find you on Twitter, but can you tell everybody your channel, everything, so as you can get new subscribers and maybe some new.
Can you guys only take us for an hour?
Oh, we could go a wee bit longer.
Oh, we can go longer.
No, what I mean, like when you look at me and Lex is like you only like to look at us for about an hour and go, good God, let's get off now. Like it's an hour's past for the love of God.
Oh, no, we don't want to go on too long forever. Keep it short. Everybody's got lives.
People.
Remember when we spoke about attention spans of videos?
Yes, attention spans of videos. You keep them about an hour.
We try to keep ours an hour, like through the lens. We try to keep it an hour, but
we're really bad.
Lately, it's been going at an hour and 30 minutes and an hour and 45 minutes. But we like me and Lex are on the same page with this. When we're getting into the show and we're really talking, and especially if people are showing clips, of their past investigations. The time flies and the time goes by so quickly. And like even this hour, it doesn't even feel like it's an hour, and
I know.
Talking to these idiots.
You go.
I mean, me and Lex, I'm talking.
What one is what to go first?
I still laugh when I hear it in the intro.
I know.
I'm going to top that one for the next bit.
So Lex, tell us where everybody can reach you and they can send you hate mail or whatever when you go. It's your chance to put your channel.
Oh, wow. He went there. Good Lord. He went there.
Well,
hate mail.
If you'd like to send me hate mail, you can email me at lexdidyourmum.com. That's where my email is for. That's where you can email me for hate mail. But for the nice ones of you, you can go to my Twitter page, which is Dakota. It's just in front of there. I'm very active on Twitter. I post almost every day, whether it's paranormal stuff or just stupid stuff. I'm on there all the time. I answer people's questions in the DMs as well. So if you have any questions about paranormal stuff, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to spend time and answer it. My YouTube channel is very simple. It's just Lex Paranormal. And not a lot on there at the moment now. There's not a lot going up at the moment. At the moment, you'll see that I'm uploading the Global Ghost Hunt segment videos that we're doing. We're getting the team to talk to the public, so I've been putting them up. on there. This year there is going to be a Halloween special, which, again, I can use this to ask for it. If you guys have paranormal clips and stuff like that, I want to do some live reactions to them on Halloween, for the Halloween video. So you can send them to me at paranormalx666@gmail.com. And that will be, just put them in there, put the subject as Halloween video, and I will react to them in real time in the video and try and do as many as I can for that. So that'll be quite good. And then at the moment, as I've said, since Bryan was in the UK earlier on in the year, I'm still working on getting the videos done for season 2, which will be coming out hopefully before the end of the year. So I'm hopefully going to be done by November.
Who's here? Like, I'm on the 29th floor. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
What?
Like, that was a car. I'm on the 29th floor. And that was loud. I can't even imagine what it sounded like on the ground. Like, good Lord.
God.
I didn't know you
heard that. I
thought you lived in like a normal house.
Sorry, Lex. I apologize.
No problem. That was it. That's pretty much. They're the two that I use.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can also find them on. You can also find them on this season's of 90 Day Fiancé. So
no, you cannot. But I did forget one.
Oh my God!
But I did forget one. You can also find me every single Sunday on the channel Through the Lens of Bryan and Lex, where we have our talk show where we speak to paranormal investigators, podcast hosts, and stuff like that. So that's every Sunday, 9 p.m. my time, GMT, 4 p.m. EST.
Yep.
Yes. And now it's Bryan's turn.
I hope you've got about 20 minutes, because Bryan's got like a million things he has to say here.
First things first, you can find me on all social media platforms. Ready? You don't need a sleeping pill for this one. It's just going to put you to sleep. But no, Huntophobia Canada, you can find on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those wonderful things, all those wonderful platforms. You can also find us on Parapost Network, the app. We also have going right now, as you guys are on, as we are streaming right now, Parapost Network Central. We're also partners with Paralinks. So you guys are now streaming over on Paralinks as well. What else? Huntophobia, obviously on YouTube. And, the biggest one, I'll say this, obviously Through the Lens with me and Lex. You can go find us on YouTube. It's called Through the Lex with Bryan and Lex. We're starting to climb again a little bit, getting some more views, which is great. So we can get people to know these people that we're interviewing, because we're trying to grow their platform, and that's why we bring them on the show. And we bring on real investigators, not this fake crap. We want real investigators to come on our show. So if you're interested in coming on our show, you can definitely find our email in the description if you go over to Through the Lens. And obviously, another platform I'm on is Paraflix, which is obviously Huntophobia. And if you are interested and you want to sign up to Paraflix, I can give you a code, which will be Parapost25, which means that you will get 25% off your first year, which works out, if you're in the States, about $2 a month. So all you have to do is enter Parapost25, and you can get that discount for your first year, which is obviously a fantastic deal. And you're going to get all the paranormal fix that you need. There's so many different things on there. And obviously, last but not least, that will be the Global Ghost Hunt. If you want to go over to and sign up your team, or if you have a haunted location, just go over to www.globalghosthunt.com. And that's it. And I think that's it. Was that it? I think that's it. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah. And
but all the links.
There is, and I will let you know, there is something new coming. There is something new coming. Yes. And and it involves Stephen from Paralinks. we are working on something right now that I think people are going to be, well, we're excited about it. So we'll definitely be coming out with that in the next couple of weeks. And it will definitely help people on both platforms as well. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but we're working on something that is pretty awesome. So, and that's what I was on the meeting about today before I came on here.
Oh, you're teasing us. Yeah. Well, I would like to thank Bryan for coming on, and I would also like to thank Lex for coming on. Dakota, would you like to? Did we get any announcements or anything like that?
I guess we might have a couple. Next week, Chris and I are going to be taking some time off from our usual schedule in order to prepare because Bald and Bonkers, somehow we managed to make it to our first year anniversary coming October 16th. We will have an interview with David Icke airing that day.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of new merch coming up, and for those of you who've been following us, and you notice that every now and then we have some certain strange events take place, and it's apparently leaking out to other people. We have a bit of an experiment coming together that we're going to need as many hands on board with. It'll be a bit of a live stream. I won't reveal too much of it right now because there will be physical side effects for some people. It will probably induce headaches. But
why does that do that when you get into the good
right
moment?
Now, that's our back.
Keep on freezing, Dakota.
Every time you go to say something really important, you go,
seriously?
Yeah, at the big moment there, you froze.
Yeah.
You say it again. Just tell it again. Yeah.
So what part did I cut off at? Because I noticed Brian's mouth started moving.
I will also let people know tomorrow on Through the Lens we will have Lost Souls, Daryl Evans on our show.
Right.
And also this Tuesday, I am traveling to Nashville, Tennessee to do some locations, and I might do some lives at this location. So whether it's where it's going to be, I'm not sure. It'll probably be on Parapost Network Central and probably on TikTok as well. So look forward to that. We're going to be hitting Bobby Mackey's Octagon Hall and some other places as well. So if you are a fan of Bobby Mackey's, definitely look out for that. I will also say tomorrow on Through the Lens, I will be having a surprise at the end of the show. And Lex doesn't know about it. I'm not going to tell him. And I do that all the time.
As always.
But I will say if Matt is in the room, Matt, you're definitely going to want to stick around for the end of the show. It's not involving Matt. So, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun at the end of the show. We're going to be bringing somebody up that is going to be showing some video of a certain place. And I want to see inside this place. So if you're tuning in tomorrow on Through the Lens, it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's it.
Well,
I don't say it.
Thank you both for coming on, and all the links will be below on this, obviously. And we'll need to get you back again sometime, you know.
Well,
and
we are,
Lex
aren't we?
Lex looks like a Jedi warrior now. He's like praying. He's like,
well, aren't we? Or you're not announcing that show?
What?
Oh, wait. Don't we have a little something coming together with Bryan and Lex?
December.
That's right. I forgot about that with Dave Schrader. We have a show on, what day is it? December the...
You're the one that fucking scheduled it.
I
scheduled
it. I was actually talking... It's November, let me see. Yes, it's on a Saturday, and it's on December the 3rd at 10 p.m. It will be me, Dakota, Bryan, Lex, Lisa Fry, and we have Dave Schrader, the Holzer Files, and the Devil's Perch. It'll be an interesting show.
Yes,
it will be,
cool.
And that'll be a Christmas special, you know.
I don't think I've ever heard of it. What is Devil's Perch? Well, I've never heard of that.
You know, you don't watch his programs. Now,
well, I might not get them here, though. I might not get them here. So, what is Devil's Perch?
It's a program. It's Dave Schrader and his team, and they go to this place, and It's this town, and it's absolutely amazing. I'll send you the link. Have you got Discovery Plus?
Okay.
It's Ghosts of Devil's Perch, and he's probably watching this now because he does watch our stuff. So, Dave, I'll send him the link for you.
Yeah, send me the link. I'm interested to take a look at that.
Yeah.
I actually started watching on Netflix the Dahmer story.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty good. It's actually really good, and people are interested in seeing that.
What was that you were going to say, Lex?
I was going to say, is that the show that's got? He's also got Cindy Kaiser with him as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Devil's Perch. That's a location out of Butte, Montana. Of course, the thing people go missing there. It's fucking Montana.
Yeah. It's like a mining town. It's like a copper or something mining town. It's a really, really good program.
Sorry. It's on Discovery Plus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I have Discovery Plus and it's on Really Channel. It's on the Discovery Plus and the Really Channel too.
The what
I'll
channel?
send it to you. Yeah. The Really Channel. Do you have the Really Channel?
I have no idea what he's saying.
The Really Channel?
Can somebody translate
the Really Channel? What?
Real Channel or something it's called. That's a UK version.
Real TV or something like that?
Plus.
Okay.
It's Discovery Plus. I'll send you the link for Discovery Plus.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Look at Lex.
I'm
he's
looking
so
forward
excited.
to
He can't
hold.
I know.
December 3rd is going to be cool.
And look at Lex. He just looks so excited. Look at him. Look at the sheer excitement in his.
He's listening to somebody, or somebody's talking to him.
Sorry, hang on, guys. Hang on.
Oh.
Maybe Nadine.
Okay, if you're not back, I'll
He's telling him, you just won the lottery.
No, I ain't.
I got to check my tickets. Thank you. Forgot about that.
Actually, that's not good.
70 million here in Canada.
Ooh.
Somebody in the UK won 100. Somebody in the UK yesterday won 179 million.
Holy crap!
They're not actually out, so.
Yeah, and it wasn't me because if I'd won that, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, but if you're not there, why is he buying drinks for you?
Well, you could always put in a nice business investment there, Chris.
I could. I was thinking $20 million into Bonkers and then $10 million into Parapost, you know. Look how happy.
Look at Lex. It looks like he's going to kill somebody.
We should probably end the show. I don't know. We should probably end this show before we end up showcasing a murder.
So, ladies and gentlemen, roll the credits. See you all tomorrow, guys. We have a UFO guy coming.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Network, we would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
Life. You never know what crystals may just lie inside what you see. This is The Unicorn, featuring Smith-Fatman Paranormal Investigations. Uncover the gems deep inside the mysteries to see what you discover.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hello.
So, tonight's topic, if you haven't seen it already in the title, may freak some out. So, viewers, our discretion. We will be talking about a very sensitive subject that may come to some on why Victorians took pictures of dead people. And when we say that, more likely it is family members of any age. We have from infants newborns all the way up to the elders, grandparents, and older. So tonight will be, and I will show some pictures, so I do apologize ahead of time if you guys do not want to see it, but I am giving a heads up that there will be pictures. Now, to me and to Sherry, they do not look like they're dead. They are staged in a way, they either look like they are with their family, or they are asleep, or some type of the matter. So.
Yeah. Some of them, like, it really depends as well on the era. Obviously, like, if they were rich or if they were more of a poor family. The more poor, if they were quite poor families and stuff like that, then the picture quality was not great. So you would be able to tell that the deceased child or adult is not alive. But the more money you had, the better the pictures were. And the makeup, so it really doesn't look like they're dead at all. They're like Linda said, they're either sleeping or it looks like they're just standing there and they're alive, but they're not.
Right. So I will show this first picture before I do get started reading because it is a very intriguing, sad but intriguing photo. So this is a husband, wife, and their baby. It is Ellie Mae, Anna Keller, and this is in 1894. It was a murder-suicide. And then you got the archives. Yeah, so the same thing. It was a murder-suicide. And it was done in 1894. Now, if you would look at it at a different perspective, it looks like they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Now, with them laying in the coffin, obviously, it gives that away that they are deceased and passed on, which is sad, but it's, I guess, something as a memorable for, and that's what they say in here, that back in 1800s, that's the reason why they took pictures of the deceased, was for the memorable photos to have.
Yeah, memorable photos, and also to help with the grieving process as well. That's why a lot of them done it, to try and accept the fact that that person had passed on.
Mm-hmm.
And
because, especially if you're a baby, you have an older sibling, and you're not able to spend that life with them, you're going to want to remember them. You know? Yeah. Especially with the parents being so young, that's normally what happens. To cure the shadows or the substance fade, that very early photographs, Saloon introduced not long after Luis announced his daguerreotype process in 1939. May seem optimist, but it is a reflect of the reality of the Victorian life. In an age before, when infant mortality soared and the Civil War raged, death was a consistent presence in the United States. And one of the parts of the process was memorable. The death was taken in a post-mortem photo, as in right where they passed. It's not letting them decay. It's not letting them any of that. It's kind of like when you get the body ready for a funeral or a viewing.
A lot of them were quite funny in them days as well. They didn't really like to let their deceased go off to strangers. A lot of them would actually look after their loved ones themselves and wash them and get them prepared and ready for the funeral. As
in, if nowadays, and I have read that nowadays they still do it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They still do it. It has not faded away. So a lot of people now either go into nursing homes, go into hospice, or die at home, whatever the case may be, regardless of health. And with that, they will have somebody come in right after they pass, and I know because I did it with my grandmother. Clean them up, dress them in an appropriate nightgown or whatever they wanted to pass in. And is there, if you want it to, after they make them comfortable.
And pretty.
You don't need nothing. You're good. So it's one of those, it makes their body suitable for the photos if they want, for any type of photographs, like I did, and this, some still think I'm weird about it. I held my grandmother's hand, and I took a picture of me holding her hand for the very last time. And she was already gone and passed on. But to me, that is a memorable picture that I will ever, for always, cherish. And a lot of people do that nowadays, regardless it is a child curling up in the bed with a grandparent or a parent or a sibling, and taking that photo saying I laid and cuddled with them for the last time, and that's what they have. And yeah, we're gonna have some that think it's weird, but all in all, it's a sentimental thing, and until somebody goes through it, I guess they won't understand it.
It's still a spiritual thing, isn't it? It's still a spirituality, and for a lot of them, they've done it as, like what you're saying, for a memory thing, also to help with the grieving process, because a lot of people these days, if we lose deceased ones, we've just got belongings that are what we have to remind them. We don't have something of them. So in the Victorian period, the person that they lost was more important than the belongings. So for them, pictures were the way to get them through that grieving process. And I know it might sound morbid in that, but when you look at some of the pictures, they actually look very beautiful when they're dead. I'm not saying it's good that they're dead, but they look very beautiful. You know what I mean? They do. They look like they're asleep, or
Oh, absolutely. I was just reading Chad's chat. But yeah, it's definitely. And it says here, photographing the dead, however it may be a tricky business, was required carefully. And manipulation of the body, props, and equipment, either with the photograph studio or at a home of the deceased.
Yeah.
So they would stage them, like we said, and I have a picture of that.
Most of them, like the more of the poor people be the ones that would be in the. They would have it done at a studio. They wouldn't have been able to pay for it to happen at home privately and things, so they would go to a place to have it done. Where with the more rich families, they could afford to pay to be at home and have it done, and they could afford to have all the props. And they, you can tell the difference between a poor family having a photo taken with their deceased to a rich family. You know what I mean? They look very beautiful. They don't look dead.
No.
At all.
And you could definitely tell here that a parent is holding the child.
Yeah.
Because of the sheet over the body. And normally if you didn't have the money to take them to a studio to go get the pictures done or to pay somebody to come in, this was the cheapest way for them to do it.
Yeah.
So this was something that they wanted to do, and that's what they did. Same thing here. You got somebody holding the child standing. And you can see the arm. Same thing here. Parent with the twins. But this was done in a studio. This one.
Yeah, they normally have like the props, don't they? Like they'd have the props to stand them up, and some of them didn't like to show some of the family didn't like to show their faces in the pictures. They just wanted the picture to be the deceased person themselves.
Right.
It's really sad when you look at it, but at the same time, it's beautiful, isn't it? Because it's capturing that moment of death.
Right.
Oh,
They have jewelry.
that's a bit of a morbid one.
I was going to show that one, but then it said headless. I don't know how everybody would think about.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So I got rid of that.
Yeah, they did. They used to have jewellery with locks of hair. They would also have some of the pictures actually made small so they could be put into lockets, the pictures of them, to keep... It's a keepsake thing. It was to keep them close to them and keep their memory alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this one
Yeah.
is an example of the ones with more money that were able to go to the studio.
Yeah. Or they could play at home as well. But
yeah. And have them propped up, stood up, however the case may be. So
yes, yeah.
It really depends on, how it happened, and I gotta.
And in some of these pictures, you have actually got the deceased siblings with the live siblings, and with some of them, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between who's deceased and who hasn't. It really did depend on the money and how much they could pay out.
About. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
there was always a symbolise behind it as well, sis, weren't there? Like the families would wear black to symbolise the fact of death, and the children or the people would wear white to symbolise that they'd crossed over. And the one at the end here, yeah, she's dead, but the other four are alive.
And they have her propped up.
Yeah.
So she is standing and free form standing.
These were the ones I was looking at, sis.
I thought so. So as soon as you said it, that's when I realized I just scrolled across it.
Yeah.
So not all the time, but depending on, I guess, their wealth, they would, if they wanted to, and they close the child's eyes, they can easily paint an eye on there to make it look like their eyes are open.
It was you would have to be pretty skilled to do that, though, because you would need to make it look lifelike as well. And,
And you gotta not have a shaky hand, because I would just be shaking it all over.
You'd have a wonky eye otherwise, wouldn't you? We shouldn't really laugh, but we've got to bring a bit of laughter into this, really, because it is a very upsetting thing to watch and look at, some of you probably.
So the first photo was live siblings are often photographed with their deceased brother or sister as a part of having a full family portrait of the children. And in spite of a lost child as living, in the photograph, the younger child has passed away and has been propped up. So, that's where they normally have the money to do so.
And a lot of them in them days as well wouldn't have had many photos, would they? So that these sort of things were very important to them to be done. It was their kind of time to have actually a family picture, I guess.
Yeah.
Sad. It is sad, but at the same time, like I said, it is very beautiful because you capture that moment, and
I have seen a lot of photos where, and it's weird when I saw them, but you see the light and you see a glare.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, they're taking the picture right as they die. So now you're watching the spirit, their soul lift out. And I saw that with my grandmother, and that kind of stuff. But, it was an interesting, experience. So,
yeah, no, I agree, Drew. You do need to bring a humour a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is... go ahead.
And in the pictures as well, like, you can also tell who the deceased are, because the ones that are alive, when they move, there would have been a blur around them, where the deceased person would be as clear as day.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I did do a bit of, I know a little bit, and I did a little bit of reading up just so I knew what to talk about, because I'd have looked like a dipstick sitting here with you, like.
No, you're fine.
A little bit.
So they obviously have books out on postmortem photographs that will go into detail. And I couldn't find any. I mean, they must be a hard thing to find. 'Cause normally I
Oh,
have
yeah.
good luck.
More than likely.
Its practice also went on in the 1930s in the United States as a social mourn shift away from the public mourning. Death became medicalized and infant mortality rate improved. So it kind of traveled, like we said. It still goes on to this day.
Oh yeah, they were very obsessed with death, but then they looked at death as being just as important as life. Okay, and that's why they done the things that they did. They, as well as they established and loved life, they found that death was a very important thing to them as well. So yeah, they were obsessed, most definitely. That's why in the Victorian times, all of the seances and stuff came along as well, to communicate and to talk and to do all, to their loved ones and that.
Right.
So,
and that's so true.
Yeah.
And just like it says here, however, sometimes it wasn't always so creepy, at least in the disembodied, as in if they wind up losing a limb or something, they always still took their photos. And they did more than just one photo. And it's kind of, to me, that's kind of weird because, they're able to do whatever you want with that limb or body part that wound up coming off, whatever the case may be. I don't know.
Yeah, that part of it is creepy when they would photograph them like that, but I guess to them it was very important to catch that moment and what happened to them, and it was their way of processing
what happened, the tragedy.
You know what I mean? And how the tragedy happened and things. It was their way of getting through that.
Yeah.
Don't think I would want to personally take a picture of my deceased loved one with no leg or a head or something, but,
I don't think so, but they do have a photo, and I'm not going to show it, but it's an entire army troop holding their head.
Yeah, no.
I'm like...
I think I'll be having nightmares tonight if you've done that.
Sorry. But I'm like, why? To me, that's a question of why. Maybe it's
just... to me, if that was going to happen and I was going to... I would want my loved one's limb or something to be sewed back on and makeup put over it so it doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want them to be seen like that. I'd have it so that the head was sewn back on or the arm was sewn back on, makeup put over, just so they look normal. But oddly, the Victorians were very weird in some ways as well, so.
Yeah, they had, and I've going over and reading it, they definitely did have their weird quirks on it,
Most definitely.
Yeah, so this postmortem photograph is a practice of photographing in the recent deceased. Virtual cultures used and have used this practice through the best studied area and postmortem photos is of Europe, is where it started, and America.
It was very known in England.
Yeah. And it still is.
Yeah. There was actually a picture, because I was going to put it up. There was a picture that I come across earlier, and it was of some black guy, up to date, like in this century, and he was sat in his chair. He had his football shirt on, like rugby sort of shirt thing, and he had his glasses. They'd put Doritos next to him and that, and he was actually dead. And he had his Xbox there, and you just think that he was just lounging back in his chair. You know what I mean? But he was actually dead. You know what I mean? But he was a famous guy, I think.
I have to look and see.
Let me see if I can find it while I'm on it, and I'll send it to you in your messenger, and you might be able to get it up that way.
Okay, that's fine.
Because
there could be considerable disputes on whether individuals' early photos actually showed a dead person or not, often sharpened by chemical consideration.
the
Yes,
mute
that
a
is so
minute.
true, Mittens. So true. He said, yes, back in the day, not very many people could afford to get a normal family photo. It was their last effort. Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Like we said, it depends on their wealth. Where was I lost? The form continued its tradition of early paintings. So not only would they take photos, but they would put it in an oil painting. Yeah. In 1839, a portrait complex, as many of those who were unable to afford the composition of a painted portrait could afford to sit for a photograph session. So if they couldn't afford the oil painting or yeah, you can. This also provides the middle class with a way to remember dead loved ones. Before this, postmortem portraits were restricted to the upper class. To continue to decease with the new method, postmortem photographs was common in the 19th century. A photograph was a new medium. It is a pleasurable that many postmortem portraits, especially of those infants and young children. So apparently it was very popular for the children, more say than the elders. I guess for the infants that didn't make it, or, some type of a health issue when they were born, or probably the only photographs were made of the sisters. Let's see what this is. Nope. A long exposure time made the deceased subject easy to photograph. The problem of a long exposure time also led to we probably all have some family photos like that through the distant family. Would be interesting to take a look at the old family photos. Yeah, that would definitely be interesting. For sure. Where the mother was hidden in frame and claimed a young child and kept them still, as in what we just saw with the sheet over, and then the mother's holding the child still. In America, post-mortem photographs became an increasingly private practice by the mid to late 19th century, with discussion moving out to the trade journals and public discuss. There was a morning table where the living were photographed surrounding the coffin and the deceased, sometimes having the visual. The practice continued until 1960. And they also did it in Iceland. Started in 1900s. but later died around 1940, transferring mainly the photographs of a personal use. So now it's not so popular. They're also doing it in the UK too. As far back as the 19th century, it is custom of portraits of the deceased through paintings. Doesn't show a date on this one, so they must still do it. The originated in Western Europe and quickly spread through Europe. That would have been hard to hold your baby in such a state. How sad they must have been. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I would be able to do it. That's my baby, you know. These portraits were mainly restricted to the upper class. Among the emerge of photographs, post-mortem photographs became available to many people. Post-mortem photographs was particularly popular in Victorian British. From 1860 to 1910, these post-mortem portraits were much like American portraits in style, focusing on the deceased and their display as asleep or with family. Often these images were placed in family albums, and the study has often been mixed with American traditions because they are similar. Post-mortem photographs continue in the interwar years. An extent of the popular of post-mortem photos is difficult to assess. This is particularly due to the fact of many insisting are private within family photos, as well as the role of change in the social and culture attitudes surrounding death. They also used to do it in India too. The average for India was, it says over 300 bodies per day. That's quite a lot. But that's very interesting. It seems like everywhere throughout the world they have a different way of doing it, and you know, their own way of doing it. Did you find the photo? I can't hear you. Okay. She came in a minute. Now, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Tomorrow, Chad and I are leaving, and we will be out of state. I will bring our equipment with us, but we are leaving on family matters to South Carolina. So if anybody's from South Carolina and has a interesting place for us to explore, please let me know. But yes. Hi, lady. Girlfriend. Let me go back through the comments and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yep, we know that one.
I sent it into the actual chat room. It's not of the guy, but it's of there's a female one I found.
Okay.
They've done her makeup and stuff like that. But
let me see. Give me one sec.
It's typical because I see it earlier and I thought that would have been an alright picture to bring up to show the more modern time, but
Yeah.
now I can't find it now that we're live.
It's okay.
But there's that one. She is in a coffin, but or in her bed, one or the other.
Looks like she's in a bed, but with the rim around, it kind of looks like a coffin too. But I will bring this up.
It does happen today, but it's not as known today, I don't think. And I don't think people really post it out onto social media as
no. Out of respect, yeah, out of respect, I don't think they would. But this is one you could tell how they did her makeup, and she looks like she's asleep. And then they have her actual photo behind, so they did a really good job, actually.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like she's in a wedding gown.
Yeah, it does. I think she probably died around her wedding time, or maybe she wanted to be buried in her wedding dress.
Yeah, and a lot of people have where they have either it be their military suit that they want to go in, or a graduation gown that they want to, or just a special outfit, a memorable thing for them that they want to go in.
Yeah. It would make sense that it was either a suit or an army thing, or obviously if you were married and that you'd get buried in your wedding dress or your favourite dress or something from your loved one. It was a shame I couldn't find you the other one because it didn't look like that. You wouldn't have thought that he was dead because he's actually sitting in his chair and he's got his shoes on and everything, and he's just sitting there. And it was a black guy, and he had his glasses on, and he had this muscle sort of top, but it was like some football top, and he had his Xbox and his Doritos and stuff next to him, but he was deceased. They just made it look like he was still alive. They just put the glasses on his eyes so you couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
But he was actually deceased. People do still do it, but it's not as popular.
No. I'm trying to see if I can find it over here. Maybe. Nope, not that one.
I think he was a famous guy.
You think so?
Yeah. I just can't remember what the name of him was. He had his Xbox and everything next to him. Because I just remembered,
Well, I don't like that one. That was a baby. No. Nothing like COVID. Come on now. No, we already seen that one. Oh, this is the one I deleted, though. That I did the other day and didn't mean to. So if anybody has any questions for us, please let us know. We'll answer them to the best of our knowledge.
there is an awful lot of pictures of the Victorian and
yeah, I have tons of them over here.
Yeah. So I'm looking at them at. Some of them you can tell that they are, and some of them you can't.
Oh, this is the one I wanted to show. And this is of a nowadays photo. This gentleman's a biker. And this is a very recent one. You see how they just laid him out. No coffin, no nothing, in his biker outfit, his little bandana, and that's his wife. With his little flag in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So true. So that's another one.
There was one picture, though. There was one picture that I see where it was two females standing together.
Holding hands?
No, they weren't holding hands, no. They were like opposite sides of each other. I'm not going to tell you which, if I can find them, I'm not going to tell you which is which, but try to guess which one is actually deceased. That's not it.
This is another one. The child on the floor is the deceased one. And this is the entire family. So that was another sad one. And you can definitely tell the complex of the photos. This one has the whole Photoshop shade in it, which they didn't have that back then.
If I can, right. Here it is. Hang on. Let me just send this picture to you, sis.
Okay.
It's a Victorian one, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I gotta look at it.
Some of them, like, it really did depend on the money. If they had lots of money, they really didn't look like they were dead.
No.
This one definitely not. They don't look like one of them's alive and one of them isn't. Okay.
The right one?
Try to guess which one is alive and which one isn't. This is how good the makeup was.
Let us know your answer. Maybe better.
So which one would you say is the deceased one?
I did, Drew. I did do trigger warning. I did do that. So I think it's this one that is passed. But just the way this one's sitting all stiff, that, you know.
What do you think, guys?
Let us know your answer, and then Sherry will tell us.
Right. The one that has actually passed is the one that's got a hair forward, the one that looks younger, okay? The one that's sitting slightly forward from the other one. So the one that's got the arm behind her back is alive. The one that's to the front, this one on the left, is the one that's deceased. But
when
if
I
you
looked at the hand, you could tell with the hand. You
wouldn't be able to tell that she was dead. You can see she does look like she's alive. They just look like they're posing for a photo together and...
Yeah. And you could tell also because of her eyes, they're painted on.
Yeah, the eyes are painted on. She's got her eyes closed in that, but they painted the eyes on. But looking, like, compared to some of the photos you see, you know, to me, she looks very alive, even though she's not. You can tell by how stiff she is, the way she's sat up, the fact that the sister's arm is around her as well, but it is hard to tell. It is very hard to tell which one is alive and which one isn't.
Yeah, I totally missed that because I thought this black here was her arm coming down, not holding her up.
No, the arm is going behind her.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other one holding her hand.
Yeah.
It is hard to tell, definitely. But that's what we're saying. If they were quite poor, then the photography and the makeup wouldn't have been so great. So it would have been easier to tell that somebody was deceased. But the more money you had, and the more they would put into making sure that they looked like they were alive. Because even though it was for the mourning process and going through the fact that they died and that, They wanted to be able to have photos where when they looked at them, it didn't remind them of being dead, even though they were. You know, they wanted it to be as lifelike as possible. So, you know, the more money he had, the more alive they looked.
Right. And then they were able to hire, you know, somebody to come in and do the work for them.
Do the makeup, do the hair, you know, all of it. They would have done everything to make sure they didn't look deceased.
Yep.
Yeah, but these people would have been used to doing this. They were trained to do this. So the people that would do that they wouldn't really be taken by what they were doing, because it's not really any different to our mortuary people today, is it? When they prepare our bodies and get us ready, it's no different in them days. For the family, yes, it would have been hard to look at their loved ones like that, but I think, like I said, it was their way of processing and trying to get over the grieving. You know, it's their way of forming memories of them and things.
Oh, I definitely believe that was a tragic moment. And you could tell in some of the photos, especially the ones with the fathers.
The Victorian era was so obsessed with death and the need to photograph as they did.
Well,
because it was...
Go ahead.
It was remembrance. You know, in the olden days, like in the Victorian times, families were very, very close, okay? And it didn't matter if you were old or you were young. You were very, very important and very special. So back in them days, I think that the obsession of death and having a photography came through the fact of love and what they felt for that family. And in them days as well, a lot of these people that would have got ill or had illnesses or anything, their loved ones would have looked after them. Okay, so that it would only be right that they wanted to. It was a way of them saying, okay, yes, you're not suffering anymore, you're gone, but it was another way of them saying, okay, by having these photos, by having this, it's going to help me to overcome the fact that you have passed away. It's going to be something I can look back on and remember. And that's why they went out of their way to make sure that the photos didn't look like they were dead and stuff, so that they could still look at them and remember them and hold them. Some of them went as far as getting lockets made and having the photos put into the lockets, or having the hair put in with the photo and things like that. In them days, like I said, life and death were very important to the Victorians.
Yeah.
It's a symbolisation of loved ones crossing and going into the light, but also still being within this realm.
Yeah. Because
I do believe that also why they held on to them as well, and they done this, is because they were hoping that their spirit would stay with them, would visit, would still come back. By having these photos and that, I feel that maybe they felt it would keep that energy there. Not like trap them, but they would come back and visit. That's why then all of this seance and all this stuff used to come out, you know what I mean? That's why they started trying to contact them, like, yeah, okay, we've got stuff that to remind them, photos of them, hair of them.
Trigger objects.
That means they'll come back. You know, they'll be here with us, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And them taking photos, yeah, it's a memorable thing, but I think it's a peace knowing that they're not suffering no more, that they're, you know, like Sherry said, they're not in any pain.
Do you think if they had colour photography instead of black and white, would they still have taken as many pictures? I don't think that they probably would have, because with black and white photography, it's very easy to hide some of the features that the dead get. Because if you think the skin blemishes and it changes, the appearances in them change. In black and white, you can't really see that unless it's a really bad post-mortem and they've not had good makeup. Where with coloured photography, it would show that aspect more, I think. It would, because it's capturing the changes in the body and that. You know, so I think they probably wouldn't have been as forthcoming if it was coloured photography, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mittens also said that he was at a garage sale one time and saw a dead photo with hair and comb and a fancy frame for sale. Thought, how disrespectful. Well, yes, it's disrespectful, but no, if it wasn't related to them. You know? It's just one of those that they didn't know the person. Maybe they could have contacted family, reached out. So, not quite sure how that went. Yeah, people do.
So, like, for me, I personally wouldn't pick up anything to do with anybody else that's deceased, or I wouldn't even put my own aspects of my loved ones out there either, you know what I mean? Because as we know as investigators and people that do this sort of work, and we work with the dead, objects hold energy. Okay? And I believe that there's just some objects and some things you shouldn't allow other people to have.
Right.
If people have deceased and there is nobody left, bury it. Have the decency to bury it, or keep hold of it and put it away up in the loft or something like that. I don't believe in that you should sell things on that don't belong to you. You don't know what the person was. You don't know who they were. And, you know.
Yeah. If you don't know them on a personal level, it should not be up for sale for any reason, regardless whether they're famous, they're rich, they're poor, you know.
There is, you know, respect goes a long way. And, you know, you should always respect the dead, whether it's a spirit or it's somebody that's just deceased. You know what I mean?
Right.
Always respect their belongings and respect them. That's just how I look at it.
No, it's so true. That's why I don't think that they should have sold that at the garage sale. They should have reached out to family. They should have done some research. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, but if I was at that yard sale and somebody done that to me and goes, "Oh, I've got this piece of work. It's not from my relative, but it's their hair," and I'd be like, "What? Why are you selling somebody else's remains? Why would you do that? Like, that's disrespectful. Would you like someone to sell something to do with you when you die? Would you like that? Like the energy being moved on to somewhere else?
Right.
That they're not familiar with?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Because the spirits and stuff can attach yourself to something that they're familiar with.
It's okay, Mittens, darling.
No, you're
but
right.
I think it was really good that Sis decided to do this, because I know to some of you it might be morbid, but the fact is we are paranormal investigators. We do research and work with the dead, and this is no different. These are the dead, okay? It's just it's being looked in a different way. This is just about when they passed over and how the Victorians would hold on to their loved ones and have memories of their loved ones. It's still paranormal. It's just in a different category.
Different form, right?
You know what I mean? So
to me, it's peaceful knowing that they're passed over, and I believe that's what the Victorians and people nowadays are about when they take photos.
I should have bought it just to bury it. To be honest, I probably would have. Even though I'd have been really angry, I'd have had to go at the people. I would have probably bought it and I would have done some blessing over it, and I would have buried it and said, "I'm very sorry for them doing that to you, and I've took this out of respect of you, and I'm going to bury you so that you can be at rest." I would have probably do the same, Mittens, but not before me screwing at them and going, "You're disrespectful, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
You know?
And then they would deserve that because of what they did. I mean, they don't realize who they are.
No. And these things are personal. These people done this for a reason, okay? And these were things important and sentimental to them. So what right does other people that don't even know who this person is, who are they to think it's okay to start selling it off to people for money? That is just disrespectful, right? That's wrong.
I agree. I do agree.
You know. But this, I do think this was a good subject. Like I said, you know, some of you might think it's a bit like, why would you do that? Like, well, why would you show these pictures and that? Because it's part of death. It's part of what we are.
It is.
Okay, and believe it or not, it still goes on today. Not as regular, but it does still happen today. And people do still do that. And especially the rich and famous people, they do.
A lot more than what we realize.
Yeah. Even, I don't know, but, like, we've just lost very important people recently. We don't know if they, you know, those people took photos of her. We won't know that. You know, everybody's different.
And I believe that they do.
Yeah, I don't want to say the name of her, and I don't want to say the name of them because out of respect. But
I know.
you know, they are royal. They are of money, and they are high classed. And I could see that they would have gone to great lengths to make sure that this person looked beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And she was definitely memorable. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. I just don't want to say their name out because I don't want us getting
trouble.
flagged or something for saying. I think you probably all know who we're on about.
Pretty sure. So, any last questions? We do have a few more minutes. But yeah, if you ever come across something, and this brings up Mitten's point on a garage sale, and you see that it is of the deceased, just, do the right thing, essentially. Of course, after telling them off, because I know I would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Tell them off first, and then, get the object, not to keep for yourself, but do your blessing and your prayers over them and say sorry to them for what that person was doing, and the reason why you bought it was to lay them to rest so that they wouldn't get sold on somewhere else. And just lay them to rest, or if you don't feel comfortable, don't entertain it. Okay, just don't do it.
Or walk away.
Everybody's different, aren't they? There's going to be.
We would definitely do it's an artiste doing makeup. Exactly.
Oh yeah. You think when they die, their skin changes so much, and so does their body, and that. So it takes a lot of artistic creation to make them look lifelike again, and it's an amazing art to do. But
it takes a lot of patience to do it.
And there's so many different forms that they see these people in as well. They're not all just normal people that have passed away. Some of them have been in accidents and other things, so they really do need to have a very good artistic hand and eye to be able to cover that up and make it so that they don't look like they did when they had the accident.
And that's why a lot of times if they wind up having accidents and they can't mend the face and take care of what they need to, that's why they do it a closed casket.
Yeah, if they can only get as you said, sis, if they can only get so far, but they can't completely cover it, they will not have anything open so that you can see it. But I had a friend, that's family were funeral directors, okay, and she used to say to me that there would be a woman that would come in and do the makeup and that. And, they wouldn't just do the makeup, they would paint your nails, they would put the colour of your hair. Like, if you had hair dye, but part of it was missing, they would put the dye, they would use a special dye to put on the hair to just make you...
It was in a little spray can, and they would
have, like, the cans, and they'd spray it on their hair, they'd put that in, they'd put all of the favourite colour nail varnishes on for the women, and they'd do the makeup how they like it. Normally, a lot of people, what they would do, if there was a person that used to look a certain way, they would send pictures with that loved one. You know what I mean? And that's how I want her to look. That's how she likes to look. And they would do that.
Yep. That's why they normally ask for the recent photo. That way they can get as close as possible, if not nail it, because I have seen a couple people.
My friend said that they used to have like somebody that used to come in and do the moulding as well, which is where if there was anyone that had something happen on a part of their body, that it would be moulded to try to cover the injuries up. Yeah. And then they would decorate them by doing the makeup. They would use a certain paint to go over like a flesh coloured paint to go over the mould, and then they'd put the makeup on, and 9 times out of 10, they could get them to look normal again, but some of them, not so much.
No. It's a very hard job to do, especially if...
It takes guts.
It does. It does.
You can't be squeamish or anything like that. Definitely not. You can't.
No, not in that job. No.
If you've got a faint heart and you're scared of death, don't be a mortuary person, whatever you do. because you
Yeah.
will not cope.
I'm going to say you definitely do not belong in a morgue if that's the case.
No, definitely not. And you don't deserve to be in a funeral parlour either. If you can't cope with that, don't do it, because that's all you're going to be around.
Yep. That's it. I mean, that's why a lot of people, when I met the one at the funeral home, she said that she can't go in the morgue, but she'll do the paperwork. I understand. I get it. Not everybody can. But,
and there's people for different jobs in that. You know, there are people that are just secretaries and maybe talk to the family, organise the funeral side of it, and then you've got the guys that do like I said, the casting, the makeup, the hair, they wash the body. You know, they do a lot of things. And if you're squeamish and you don't like that sort of thing, you just would not, you wouldn't get on with it at all.
No.
You know what I mean? So, and you've got to have I know this sounds horrible, you've got to have a strong nose as well, because sometimes some of the smells and...
Well, you got to think if they sit so long, if they don't prepare them and get started on them right away,
that's why a lot of them do.
Decomposing.
Like my friends' parents and that, as soon as the body would come in, within like a couple of hours, they'd have like 3 or 4 people set up, and there'd be people doing each body, because they didn't like to leave them sitting there. They would have to embalm them and all that, because that perceives the skin and the body. It stops it from, decaying, and it keeps them looking full, because when you pass away, you either bloat or you decrease, you know what I mean? So they need to have that in you to keep you looking normal, you know what I mean? So, and it is known that some people, when they pass away and they're dead, their body will still move, because it's the air in the body.
Yeah.
It's been known for bodies to sit up or an arm to move, and it's just where they're letting out their last breath or their last air in them and things like that. So that's another thing you'd have to be prepared for as well.
Oh yeah, Stephanie.
You could walk in and see somebody sitting up with a blanket over their head, and it's because of last breath thing sort of thing. Even though they're dead, the body still breathes within. It has to release.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's kind of a settling thing. It's the body's settling, and I've seen it before, even with my clients.
It's scary. It's scary.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I remember going around one of my friend's houses, and seeing one where an arm moved, and I thought that they were alive. I said, "You've got somebody there that's like," they're like, "No, it's not." And it doesn't creep me out. It doesn't creep me out, because I'm used to seeing spirit. I'm used to seeing that sort of thing. But I was like, "Oh, somebody's alive still," and they're like, "No, that's
just the body settling." Yeah.
Big body settling, and that. I was like, "Oh, okay." They go, "You think that's bad?" They go, "We've had it where one's sat up." I was like, "I think I would have run if that happened." Because
I would have took off.
Yeah, no.
I definitely would have took off. I mean, I probably would have came back, but...
Well, I would have, definitely would have come back, but that would have scared me at that time. You know what I mean? Because you're walking around a room and they're all laying there with their tags on and blankets over them, and then suddenly it sits up. I'd have been gone. And I'd have come back going, "Okay, I'm all right now."
Just the process. And I get that, because I definitely would have been the same thing.
It's the gases. It's the gases in the body. You think all of the organs have stopped working, so they all start releasing all the toxins. And
that's why around in the belly area is the first place to start bloating.
Yeah, and you'll find that a lot of the post-mortems that they do, where they do that, they actually do insert the embalming through the stomach. They do it through the stomach area, innit? And through the legs, like the calf areas up here. They put like sticks in and...
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, thank you guys for coming in. This was an awesome show. Sorry if we creeped some of you guys out. Not the intention.
I think that it's important that you know.
It is. It was fun doing it. It was sad seeing some of it, but, we learned a lot. But we are going to have... What?
They do still embalm people. That is the one thing they have to do, is embalm people. You can't not embalm them, because
in order to do a viewing with the body, now if they were to just cremate them and then do the viewing, then no, they wouldn't.
No, they don't.
But if they were going to do a viewing with the body, then yes, they have to.
Yeah, cremation, no, but they still use something on the body to, keep it alive, because people are still wanting to view their loved one and things like that. But it's not the same as if you were being buried. It's not the same.
No, it's not. No. But.
Oh right, yeah. Yes.
It was good. I enjoyed it. If you guys have any other ideas that you would like for Sherry and I to do, please let us know. We would be more than happy.
We like to be the crazy ones. We'll cover anything, guys.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing stops us. I think it's interesting and fun to work on. So with that being said, we are going to hop off. Much love. And we will talk to you guys later.
Be safe.
Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
Discoveries mankind has ever experienced. And that is why we bring you the Bald and Bonkers Show. Baby, you can get on my boat and make it rock.
See,
what the?
Ladies and gentlemen, he tried to remove me during the live, but you know something?
Damn.
You know something? I can reach my new computer table now. How is everybody tonight? Everybody in the chat, Drew's Paranormal Blog, Sherry's Spiritual Investigators, everybody that's watching on, everywhere, all the locations throughout the internet, welcome. We did have a guest tonight, guys, but sadly he has the flu. So, you can come back sometime, but we're just going to talk about wild stuff that's happening right now. How are you, Dakota? How's things with you?
I don't know, Chris. How are you? By the way, is the appointment still set up for your sex change tomorrow?
See, I was going to do that to you. I was going to say that, ladies and gentlemen, that we were going to be doing like a GoFundMe for Dakota to go get a sex change, but you know. And then he stole it.
Just look at my sisters. I'd be a very ugly woman.
Look, there's a Facebook user, right? Facebook user. What is that link that you brought up so as people don't do that, Matt? Facebook users thing. I did it the other night.
It's included with all the Facebook videos. Basically, for some reason, streaming platforms like StreamYard, Melon, I think Restream does it as well. If you go to talk to us through Facebook, it doesn't show us your name, or sometimes doesn't even show you at all. So if you message us through Facebook and you think we're ignoring you, that's not always the case.
For Facebook users, that must be the maddest introduction to anything I have ever seen. Well, do you know something? Do you know something? As a mad show, we're absolutely raving lunatics. You know, just look at Dakota here. You know, it would drive MD insane. You know, so what? You know. Anyway,
you're not wrong.
Right?
You're not wrong.
We're going to do an open panel tonight and inviting people on, but everybody's busy. So we're just going to talk about strange things from around the world, especially Dakota here going for a hair transplant tomorrow. So, curiosity, where did they get the hair transplant from? Was it like genetically grown in like a strange lab somewhere? You know, is it like long and blonde? You've got to come on and looks like somebody off of what's that song, The Final Countdown? Like one of the rock stars, they have the hair down to your knees and stuff like that.
Oh God!
Just ignore me, ladies and gentlemen. It's what happens, you know. When we've not got a guest, we've got to kind of.
Oh, I found out who Facebook user is.
Who is that?
Well, he's genetically similar to you, so he's quite ugly.
What do you mean? I'm a handsome fellow. For the listeners in the podcast out there, I'm like a Sean Connery lookalike. See, honestly. Obviously, if you're not wearing glasses and in the dark.
What kind of funhouse mirror liquor store are you going to? No, apparently that's your brother.
Oh, is that who it is? My God, he's found Facebook. Well, yes, that's my brother, Drew. Hello, Drew.
I find it funny you froze right there in your face, like oh.
Well, as he says, that is a mad trailer that we've got with the two-headed sea lion or whatever it is coming out the water, you know. And Dakota's getting attacked, everybody, by a fly. If you see him waving his hands about, you know.
It's pissing me off. I'm about to start shooting the damn thing.
Well, that's what happens. Hey, have you seen, right, let's talk about something quite interesting here. Has anybody in the chat seen all the UFO reports coming out of none other than Ukraine?
There's a lot of discussion about that right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know if that's what's worrying Mr. President, whatever his name is, the Russian. I'm not saying his name because this is obviously, you know, you can't what it's like.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on over there now because it's totally, seemingly the UFO reports are out of the ordinary. Yes, the US government, the British government are probably got like secret weapons, drones, lots of drones that they're giving them, but there's still something more. Which I'm just reading the chat here. Mittens! I've not seen mittens in a long time. There's somebody in the chat called Mittens. Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The excuses that a lot of skeptics are putting out are pretty much the same lines that you would have heard during the Second World War when the exact same things were happening.
Yep.
Weird shit flying in the sky and nobody knows who they belong to.
But see, here's the thing, and it's quite. I've been listening to that Phil Mantle. Phil Mantle gave me one of his books, an audio form, and there's UFO reports from the 19th century, from the 1890s, right? A strange craft landing in a field and then taking off like a rocket, right? I mean, in the 1890s, there was no aircraft, was there? There was nothing like that. There might have been some balloons, right? But I know the Chinese dabbled in fireworks and stuff like that, but this is going back to like the English countryside in like 1892 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite interesting because I was actually watching TikTok the other night there, and this guy, I think he's from the UFO project. You know the one where, who's the guy, the big aerospace engineer they make is into the UFO stuff. Oh, what's his name?
Which one?
It's the one that's, is it Bigelow? He worked for Bigelow, I think. He worked for Bigelow. I think he worked for Bigelow. He doesn't anymore. And they were going on about how the US government had got a hold of materials from an unknown location. And when they asked where did these materials come from, they were like, oh, we cannot tell you. They just came from an unknown location. And this is material like steel. It's as strong as steel, but as light as tissue paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when you crumple it up into a ball, right, you set it down, pop back into shape again with not a mark on it. And they were going on about how they could actually make like parts for aircraft out of this stuff, and it was basically indestructible. Yes, it would break where you joined it together, but as a sheet itself, it would not break. Have you ever heard of that, Dakota? The strange things that's going about it's all over the internet now about all that kind of crazy stuff.
Well, a lot more attention is being brought to the UFO subject, and thankfully a lot more people are starting to realize, wait a sec, what they're trying to brush all this off on isn't adding up. Now, you can argue that this is a lot of people who actually don't know how this shit works trying to sound it funny, but that crap, that material, if I'm not mistaken, actually is said to have come from the craft that went down at Roswell.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Mm-hmm.
And a few years before, the Germans had something very similar crash in the Black Forest.
Yep. And a lot of people don't know this, but where the Roswell crash was, I think it was in the 1886? I think it was. 1886, there was like a UFO reported crash that came down in a light, and they went out to the scene and there was wreckage everywhere, and it all disappeared. I think for a long time, our governments of the world have known about these things, and they've been trying to cover them up for a long time, even before they had flight themselves. And I'm going back maybe 300-400 years. Do you know that? And they've just been covering it up because they don't want... Can you imagine... Let's go at the kind of religious view here. Can you imagine... To us that believe in UFOs and aliens and stuff, it's not going to really do us any harm if we wake up one morning and say, oh look, they're here, they're real, right? But to the religious people that believe that the earth was created in the Bible, right? I think it'll do them damage. I think they'll be like, oh my God.
That is a genuine fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a genuine fear.
Wrong.
It's not that necessarily the book is wrong. It's just that, for lack of a better word here, it's the religious addiction.
Yeah.
The second you go to start discussing, and it's why anything religious-based always comes up with some sort of fear. You know, there's been people that try to say, oh, you shouldn't talk about this. You shouldn't talk about this. You know what? Shut the fuck up. It's not until you stop worrying about how you're going to offend and actually come into this trying to understand what's going on instead of just assuming that you think you know everything. Because one thing I would always say, and it's something I would use to piss off an ex-girlfriend, if you think you go in the world saying you think you know everything, you're ignorant as fuck.
No, I mean, I'll admit that. I've had the religious types messaging me. I've had the messages on here. Oh, you're going to burn in hell because you believe in demons that come from spaceships. The spaceships are aliens. They're no aliens. They're demons for the underworld, and they're coming to get you and all that kind of stuff. Send your soul to Jesus and stuff like that. I mean, honestly.
Okay, first off, all right. Religious types, I'm just going to say this. Actually, sit the fuck down and read your goddamn Bible. Because if you actually paid attention and read through everything instead of what the pastors twisted in their sermons, and this has been happening for centuries. I'm saying it. I'm fucking saying it. The Bible itself preaches against assholes who follow the church, who don't actually pay attention. And it says, I believe it's in Deuteronomy, that everybody who follows the church, because it's been filled so full of lies, you're the one that's got something big coming for you. And if you actually follow old scriptures that have been uncovered, say like Dead Sea Scrolls, Jesus talked about starseeds.
Yeah.
He was himself one. He knew that in situations like we're in now, we're coming.
I mean, it's like in the Bible goes, and I'm not taking this out in the Bible or anything like that, but it's like when Jesus was born, there was the North Star shining, right? And then the three angels appeared before these men, the three kings, right? Mm-hmm. What was if the three angels weren't the three angels? What was if there were extraterrestrials that appeared before them in their ships? And because they didn't know what technology was, they just presumed that they were angels.
You know, our friend of ours, Elena Denon, she actually just put out a book not too long ago.
Yes.
It's called Cedars, The Coming of the Old Gods, something along those lines. Honestly, be prepared. It is her biggest book yet.
Yeah.
It's like I'm only about a quarter of the way through it. She identifies even more. Last time she was on the show, she mentioned that she was identifying even more species that she hadn't before.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
There are winged humanoids.
That's right. There is. I mean, I'm waiting. I could get the audio version at the new, the Kindle version at the new, but I'm waiting for the paperback to come out. On
paperback's out.
I know what on Amazon Prime.
It's out.
It's not in Prime now because I tried it the other night.
Well, maybe not in the UK, but in the US.
It's not in the UK. But I don't think
they'll
ironic,
deliver it. Which is kind of weird when you think about it, because she lives in Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, she even mentioned that everybody else is getting her book except her.
I know. Do you not get a signed copy?
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Of course, she did get a book sent to you the other day.
Yes.
Where is it? Show it to everybody.
Compendium. I'm getting it out right now. Hold on.
Take his time here.
No, I'm trying to grab it with my foot. Yeah, Greg Campobasso, he's going to be on 15th to help promote his new book. You can pre-order it now to get it by October 1st, but because he likes us and wants to promote it, he was nice enough to help send me a free copy.
Did he sign it?
No.
Come on, Craig. Can you send me one, Craig, if you're watching this, and sign it for me?
You know, speaking of which, we should turn that into a brand new segment of the show where, if they're out of the UK, they send books to you. If they're in the US, they send it to me. And we just review it for them.
Yeah. Well, it started happening now. I mean, I've had a couple sent to me, which I've started to listen to. I like the audiobook versions, but when it comes to Elena's book, I like the paperback versions. It's something.
I wish I had her fucking skill when it came to artwork, man.
Well, you never know. So, what have we got lined up for next week? Why don't we tell ladies and gentlemen that we will not be here on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
Well, Sherry's taking time off due to personal reasons, and to which I will just say this. I know she asked us to not really go into detail, but our hearts do go out to you, Sherry. Like we said, we understand. We've been there. Saturday and Sunday, we're taking a brief break from the show so we can get all of the very exciting projects up and running we have for October to help celebrate our 1-year anniversary.
Wow. I would just like to say something new. I know I'm interrupting, but I went wow there because I don't know if anybody in the chat can see it, but we've got 634 people watching all over the different networks. So we've got Facebook, we've got YouTube, we've got Twitch.
Well, like I said, now let's be realistic here, Chris. Let's be real.
Yeah.
We have D-Live, we have Trovo, which the statistics don't come through. And so if you're watching us through there and you think we're ignoring you, I'm sorry, but we try to get to everybody as much as we can. But Twitter, it streams us out to there, going through the back door of a feature that Twitter allegedly took down. So it doesn't give us the numbers there. Because of how far spread out it is and how it all works, it's hard to tell, but nevertheless, I'm shocked we got this far.
You're right. But when you go, keep telling us what you're telling us about next week before I rudely interrupted you, but when you go.
No, I pretty much got to it. It's just that we're trying to basically take some time because we've been pounding this out constantly. Because unfortunately, that's what it takes in order to go on for social media. At least minimum twice a week, if not every day. You got to put something out in order to keep going. I was about to say, thank God that number dropped because we were about 4 away from getting real concerned.
but let's tell everybody what shows are planned for not this week coming, but the week after. What we've got planned.
Well,
because we're actually live on the Monday, aren't we, with Christine Gomez?
Yes, our dear friend Christine Gomez is going to be coming on live with us for a special episode because she has actually offered her help and clips from her shows to put together for the documentary we're going to get going. Towards the end of that episode, we're going to have a special premiere of a new trailer that will hopefully appeal to some of my Hollywood connections a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Because William Shatner's in that bunch, and God damn it, I would love to get Captain Kirk on a UFO show.
Jesus, I'd come on. Man, I'd be on here with my Star Trek uniform on. Scotty.
Oh, we already know why you want that nickname to come out there.
Okay. You know, you can't help the Scottish accent.
She's an educated woman. And, I can back you on that one. Go for that one. I didn't realize she was as old as she was.
But ask who the special guest is, everybody, that we have got planned.
Christopher and I will be entering a special secret meeting with none other than David Icke. And you'll be able to see that episode coming on October 16th, just in time for our 1-year anniversary.
Nice.
No, we didn't do that on purpose. That happened. That was just a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say.
Yeah. But we've also got loads of amazing people in October. I mean, we've got Lisa Fry and our friend Pet Medium coming back on.
Oh, yeah.
We've actually got quite a few.
Definitely use her advice because some of my cats are being fucking assholes right now.
I do think you are kind of like the crazy cat guy. Because you've got that many cats.
At least 3 of them are my mother. Only one of them's mine.
I bet you've got loads. Cats.
There's only 4.
This time next year, you're
there's
going to
only
have
4
cats. I'm telling you, they multiply.
That's well, no, the boy cats are fixed, and we're trying to get the girls in, but unfortunately, no vets are taking new patients right now.
Well,
seriously, they're recommending I'd have to drive like 2 hours away in order to get the girls fixed.
No. So, what else is happening in the documentary frontier? Because we had quite a lot of people interested in.
Oh my God! 250 auditions just for the pitch trailer. 250 just for a pitch trailer that would only be maybe a few minutes long. Everybody only had like 1, maybe 3 lines to read. That's it.
Yeah.
Just because I said it was a pitch trailer, it was going to go live. Everybody who got picked would be listed on the IMDb page for that episode. So it'll help get their name out there. That's why I said we need to go with backstage for their casting projects because they pull through. In fact, they're one of the biggest casting companies out there. A lot of people got their start. A lot of big ones like Sandra Bullock, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson. They all got their start through that very company.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. One day, Dakota will be a famous movie star or documentary guy, you know, and I'll be stuck here.
We get fucking Captain Kirk. That would be awesome.
Well, Captain Kirk, I bet he's getting older and older. The time we'll get him on. We'll have to wheel him in a wheelchair or something like that because he'll be 120.
The man gets around pretty good for his age. I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you forget, I've actually got a movie with him in the progress right now.
That's right. I mean, just think of the ladies in the chat there. The ladies in the chat, would you like to see Captain Kirk on the show?
I've been working on it. Trust me. I've been working on it. It's just getting that man's schedule freed up.
No, I know.
There's a few.
I know.
There's a few people that that are on both Chris and I's wish lists for guests that said they'd be willing to come up. It's just that they don't have any fucking time.
I was quite happy when I got to meet Dave Schrader. That was more than enough. I knew I'm friends with him. I talked to him quite a lot, and
I was literally dancing in the fucking supermarket I work at when I found out we got Barry.
That's right. But amazing guests that are got to be coming on this show. And especially the Christmas show we've got planned. I mean, we've got who's on that night? Me, you, Lex Paranormal, Bryan for Homophobia. We've got Lisa Fry, and then for the big one, we've got Dave Schrader. What is it?
A couple things. First off, I'm just kind of eyeballing the chat. First off, Andrina, you got to remember, okay? In my defense. Certain things are spelled differently between the U.S. and the U.K. For some reason, we like to swap A's and E's. So, last minute, Miller, spelled, like Miller, that's common American spelling. So, that's what happened there, okay? It's been fixed. It still shows some of the mess ups, but that's just nature of the beast. That's on Amazon's side. That's in my defense. Secondly, I mentioned this before we went live. I found it kind of funny. I was going through on Twitter, doing my usual. That everybody that Lex was calling out as fake yesterday. If you go to follow Bryan on Huntophobia, that's who gets recommended.
Well,
it's like, is Twitter trying to insinuate something here?
Don't worry, Bryan. Don't worry. He's probably sitting in the chat the news. Like, where's my voodoo doll?
I was like, he should be doing Through the Lens with Lex right now.
I think he is. I think he is. Yeah, I was in there before we came live, and I think he was talking about him wearing his tights again in the Sherwood Forest.
Oh God. I don't know. Finding out that man used to be a hairdresser all of a sudden makes sense.
I know. Bryan, the Huntophobia, ladies and gentlemen, I can't get over this, was a hairstylist.
Well, haven't you ever noticed that a lot of the famous, male hairstylists, the ones that are often considered the best in the field, are fucking bald?
I have noticed that. I'd just like to welcome into the room Ken Allen there. Welcome, my friend. But honestly, what is it? What is it with people in the paranormal? And I've noticed this. I don't know if anybody else has. Anybody that does the UFO work or ghost hunting stuff, 90% of them are bald.
Well, hair falling
out
is a symptom of radiation exposure.
Aye, but what's it? Right? Say you don't get the UFOs. It's just ghost stuff you do.
Well, oh God, this reminds me of a TikTok I saw from Aaron from Ghost Adventures. He on there. Just listen to this. And I thought it was funny because I got to thinking about it. Right around the time I started in this ghost hunting, before cryptids and UFOs got as serious as they've been getting lately. Right around the time I started ghost hunting was around the same time I was starting to go bald. And Aaron Goodwin's girl, he's like, I now know why, your hair doesn't grow back. And he was like, why? He's like, because you've been ghost hunting for all these years, your hair got scared off. I was like, fucking sick. Then I got to thinking about it. I'm going on about 12 years. I started investigating when I was about 14. I was always overgrown, so nobody knew until a local radio DJ outed me that I was still in school. But right about that time was when I started having to shave my head because I was going gray at 14.
Yeah.
Cue the violence.
Can I just have a thought? Can I post my link in the chat for, let me think, ladies and gentlemen, I have a new ghost hunting team channel. I just realised about it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And you've been pestering me about getting a fucking logo design and finally did it. So
I know.
Shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
Terrible. It's terrible. See, this is what my co-host is like, ladies and gentlemen. Could you all give that a subscribe, guys? You know, it's the new channel.
Actually, I will say this. Well, we were thinking about doing a Ghost Squad Scotland takeover for this next coming weekend, right?
Yes.
Like you premiered that on the channel so that way you can get a little bit more people. But then again, you're already on the TV network, so.
That's right. Well, I'm on the TV network anyway. And there will be a lot more videos coming, guys. Yes, there's videos on it now. The one that I did today was quite an interesting video because it was at a place called Glenbuck. And me and my friend Alan, we get absolutely soaked in the heavy rain. But it's a very interesting, and if you like the sticker, guys, if you like the sticker, that was Dakota that made that.
So, never did answer me. Are you wanting merch in the store?
Yes, I did. I sent you a message. See, I need to check your messages. Hi.
Well, it's hard to check your messages without having to listen to your... I'm just kidding.
That's terrible. See, ladies and gentlemen, these young people nowadays, and you've got to remember it'll soon be, the clocks will be going back again. I think it's is it next month, guys?
Oh, God. Oh, I hate when that happens.
You know?
Yes, everything, with all major clocks being digital and connected to the internet, and a lot of them had the setting already in there. Oh, God. The reason for the frustration is because anytime we tried to schedule something for the show and daylight saving kicks in, being that there's like a 2-week difference between the U.S. and the U.K., I just looked it up. Ours, it goes back on November 6th. Thank God it's actually going away here soon. There's always a 2-week period where everybody's thrown out because nobody remembers fucking daylight savings between the two countries.
I have got a question for you, Dakota. What are we doing for Halloween?
We haven't really done much thought of that. I was thinking about getting a Trump wig.
I was actually going to buy one of them too. We could be twins. Trump, What do you think, guys? Should you dress up as Trump? I was just going to get a Trump wig,
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. But what else is happening in the world anyway? What strange and unusual things are happening right now?
It's kind of hard to keep track.
I know.
I mean,
the world's going into madness.
Yeah. You think the world's gone crazy before? Guess what?
The world is going crazy. I mean, we're on the brink of World War III. Okay, I mean, we're on the brink of everything else, but hopefully it will happen.
I don't know if you noticed this, Chris, but haven't you ever noticed that any time there's like global events going on where obviously there's going to be a lot of chaos, all of a sudden it seems like there's some sort of disturbance in the force that causes all sorts of weird shit to happen in everybody's personal lives too, about the same time? I don't know. It's just like I just found out one of my sisters just got diagnosed with fucking E. coli. So,
oh good God, how do you get E. coli? How do you actually get that?
Eating undercooked meat. You can get it through water exposure. So, and people she's been staying with, there have been some pipeline work going on, and they always fuck it up and have to put out oil orders anytime they do that. But little shit is getting all concerned because her father was recently diagnosed with, let's see, what was it? Stage 4 kidney disease. And we had to sit her down. It's like, if you realize whatever you're doing right now will fuck up your kidneys too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd just like to say to Sherry, that's a good idea. You could make 2 resin skulls and give away. Guys, could you actually check out Sherry's shop where she does resin stuff? I think you'd really like it. Sherry, drop your link. And there.
She's giving away head. She's giving away head!
Don't get her started. You came what's going to happen. She's going to put hex on you or something like that. You've got to wake up. And there's got to be this giant creature above you, coming for you.
You're going to get me in trouble with my man. It's like, your man doesn't exactly seem very tough.
Oh, you better watch. That's it, Sherry. That's it. That's it, Sherry. But I mean, I just don't know. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with the world, the way things are happening right now, But
what you think is even crazier, Lex and Brian, they were talking about social media outlets acting all crazy the last few days. Lena's book, and I've noticed the patterns too, some of that may actually be ET influence.
Yeah.
That's how crazy this shit's been getting. Is that we can't even rule out aliens' involvement.
I've just got a thing popped up on my computer. I've got something popped up on my computer for me to update it, but they can stay like that.
Yeah.
It's a new Windows update or something,
probably.
Oh, I know. It's only taking like 3 days to download.
Yeah, Mr. Fiber Optic Connection.
It started off at like 100 meg per second, and then it went to like 80 meg per second, and then it went to like 40 meg per second, and now it's only like 36.
Too much porn, man. Too much porn.
Well, but that's what you've been doing. See some of the messages that I get for Dakota. Sometimes he wakes up through the night and messages the wrong person.
That only happened once.
So, guys in the chat, would you like to ask? I'm going to give the chat an opportunity here. Guys in the chat, would you like to ask Dakota any question whatsoever?
Oh dear Lord!
Here's your chance, here, guys. What's that? PSW? What's that? PIW? Spiritual Investigators.
I'm just gonna say this. Cher's basically saying, "Don't worry, it's teasing's all out of love." That's what it is.
Yeah.
For those of you, the newbies that may get freaking out, but if you follow the show for a while, we live up to the name Bald and Bonkers. That's all we got to say.
So here's your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. You can ask any question you want within reason. Did Dakota and you'll answer it? You don't know, there might be some beautiful women out there, any women in your 90s looking for a young man, single, we could get you married off.
I could use a sugar mama right about now.
Aye, there you go. Here you go. See, this is the thing,
No, I'm preferably not trying to date anybody older than my own mother. That would just be weird.
Oh, I don't know. But here's a question for you. While people think of questions in the chat, what do you think of Elon Musk's new robot?
I get his concept behind it.
Yeah.
And speaking from a tech nerd perspective, it's awesome. But this is also the same man who's highly warning that we better be careful when it comes to our
That's
AI.
What I kind of get. That's what I kind of get, right? He goes on to YouTube stations and podcasts all over the world and that, and he says, "Oh, don't dabble in the artificial intelligence. Don't do that. Don't go near it." And then the next minute, he's making it and selling it.
Yeah, allegedly. We'll just put that keyword there. He Well, you got to remember, ladies and gents, Elon Musk is on the spectrum. He is, if I remember correctly, he does actually have an Asperger's diagnosis, which actually fucking explains a lot. I'm not saying that's a bad thing for anybody who tries to say that autism is such a disability. Why is it that every single genius that has ever lived, and to this day, has at least been speculated of having some form of autism in their lifetime? I will say that right now. Think about it. Now, with Elon, allegedly he has ET help. So maybe he's got it figured out to where his AI programs, whatever they got going on, they'll have the patience to not get fed up with asshole humans. Because if you look at just like AI, I mean, honestly, if you look at a lot of the reports coming out about how people are treating just these AI chatbots you can get on your phone, we honestly have an ass whooping coming. I mean, there's been people that, since Chris is blowing right now, there's been people apparently making a game out of sending abusive messages to these AI bots just to see what kind of reactions they would get. That's setting up some very dangerous precedents. Now, don't get me wrong. Elon is a nice guy. Horny as fuck. How many kids does that man have now?
I think has he not got 5 or 6? Has he not got 5 or 6 kids?
He's got into double digits for his number of kids he's got. At least he's got the fucking money for it.
Aye, but what's he worth? Like 500 trillion or something stupid like that? Something 600 trillion.
I don't know. Let's look it up real quick. I don't think anybody's officially gotten into the trillion mark.
Aye, there is a few in the trillions. I think Bill Gates was in the trillions.
Not quite. Maybe if you adjust it for inflation today, but Elon Musk current net worth is $213.9 billion. If you're talking about trillions, that's you're talking wealthiest families, and chances are they're in Saudi Arabia right now.
Well, just think of it in this. He'll be able to afford the electricity this year in the UK. You know. But 200 and something trillion, can you imagine what would happen if we take everybody out of that chat and gave them £1 million each? Can you imagine?
A lot. It would be
It'd
chaos.
Be an experiment. It would not be an experiment.
It would be chaos.
How? I think it'd be awesome to see how they cope with it.
To put it, Steve Harvey, there's a video floating around of him that says it best. He makes a comment about how people say money changes people. No, it don't. No, it don't. Money makes it to where you're able to do whatever you always wanted to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was
brings
watching
out true colors.
Yeah, I was watching. Do you ever watch that guy? He's on YouTube and he's also, I can't mind his name. He buys ridiculous things. He goes into like a store and he'll buy the entire store.
Logan Paul?
No.
Logan Paul, Mr.
It's Mr.
Oh,
I can't mind.
That weirdo.
He went into a restaurant. It was the most expensive restaurant in the world. A pizza. How much for a pizza?
A few thousand, if I remember correctly.
$70,000. And the guy came out with the cheese.
Pizza, that'd be fucking good.
Aye. Just wait to hear this. And they opened 4 tins of beluga caviar. Each tin was $16,000 or something. And spread it all over the top of it. I think that's a bit excessive. I mean, then they get the steaks and they cover them in gold plate. Ken, how you get the gold leaf? I didn't know this. I didn't ken you could ingest gold leaf, but you learn something every day. They cover it in gold leaf and then eat that. And
the weird thing is, I always find it funny because they say there's these ancient tribes. It's like say it's associated with like El Dorado that ancient tribes believe that gold had medicinal properties and they would physically eat the stuff to try to clear their
Yes.
body of any illness that they may have
Well,
had.
that was the
I find it kind of funny. But you also got to remember, ladies and gents, this is not just some synthetic shiny glitter that they're putting on. It's real gold.
Yeah. But you've got to remember, if you believe the ancient texts about the Anunnaki, how they got the humans to mine the gold, and they take it back to their home world and spread it in their atmosphere to keep them young.
There's certain properties about the gold that actually help stabilize the atmosphere.
There you go.
They're
doing it now. They're doing it here now, but they're not using gold. They're using aluminum and stuff like that.
Yeah, that might cause some problems down the road.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
Aluminum can do it, but there is also the issue of the physical side effects that come with it being in the air. And it's already been found that plastics and traces of aluminum have been found in the human bloodstream.
It's not just that. In the bloodstream, because in fish that have come out, like the Mariana Trench, have been cut open, and inside them's microplastics. And then the humans are eating that, and then it's going into your blood. Plastic, if you drink I'm just saying this, if you use a plastic bottle to drink out of all the time, it can give you cancer. If it's it's meant to be a special type of plastic, it doesn't do it. But I don't know how the world's going to cope in the next 10 years, because the plastic in the sea is ridiculous.
You know, I find it funny, because there's quite a few people have made a point. If you have an you want to know what they say one of the quickest ways to get a target painted on your back is?
What? Invent something that'll help the world?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like,
there is.
I'm just going to give an example, and this happened. This is a true story. When I was about 9-10 years old, there was an article that came out that somebody discovered a form of bacteria that completely reverses tooth decay. They would just put it in your mouth once, you never have to worry about brushing your teeth again, basically. Where's that?
Well, it's gone, because the companies that make the toothpaste wouldn't be very happy, because then they wouldn't be selling the toothpaste. It's like I was going to say about the plastic. There was a university that invented a bacteria that eats plastic. Did you see that?
There was it was naturally formed. That was a completely natural thing. They may have modified it to where it could eat a lot more.
Yeah.
They did that.
But
they also... Yeah, where's that? I mean, just think about it. They were trying to put all these microbots into the human body, which in concept wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea. It's supposed to help fight cancer, do surgeries from within without having to physically cut somebody open.
Yeah.
A lot of benefits could, keyword, come from stuff like that.
Yeah.
And instead of, why not make it to where you can find a way to make it to where the body doesn't reject those and tend it to the bloodstream to clear out potential heart clogs.
Look at all the people that have disappeared or died strangely. It's invented stuff. Look at the man that invented the car that could run in water.
Unfortunately, there's a bit of an update to that story.
Is there? Because I know how it's people will run a car in water. It's put electric current through and it makes hydrogen. That's how you get it.
Oh, yeah.
When you go?
There was a gentleman on TikTok that was showing tutorials on how to build it. And all he had were a couple old soda bottles, water, some salts. Basically, the hydrogen, what it would do, it would actually make the car run a lot cleaner. His mileage would go up. Everything would just run a lot cleaner. The person that originally came up with that design, he got poisoned. He had people following him about. Ironically, one of the mass shootings, there was a gentleman on TikTok who was showing that tutorial. One of the mass shootings that took place in New York, he was there.
Yeah.
I find it funny that I just felt the stillness happen in the air, hit the air restroom as I said that.
It's not just that. It's not just that. It's like the guy that invented the levitation device with the liquid mercury.
Mm-hmm.
He just disappeared one day. Poof.
Well, he
never to be seen again.
And when he tried to apply for the patent, because this is something, that we, little side note, we should go do an episode one day where we look up weird patents all around the world. Hey, focus, damn you. Thank you. We look up weird patents for like all these spaceships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We talk about it because not a lot of people realize this about the patent process. You have to have a working model.
Yes.
So when he went in to take that power generator to get a patent on it, the thing that they told him was that, you can't have it levitating. Make it to where it doesn't levitate. We can get you the patent. Why?
Oh, God.
And they also say they have patents for psychic energy blocking technologies.
Oh, yeah. They've got patents for blooming intergalactic spaceships.
Mm-hmm. And once again, you have to have a working model in order for it to work, in order to get that patent.
Yeah.
So unless there's some real shady under-the-table stuff that happens to make those happen, which is outside the realm of the possibility.
Well, let's look at the fact here, right? With the guy with the hydrogen cars, it was probably the oil companies that came after him, right? The levitation device was probably the government because it would have put helicopters and other things out.
Well, partially the levitation devices because we already had craft that operate that, isn't it? But you also, and ladies and gentlemen, it's not just like some shady scumbags from one-off companies that nobody would ever heard of doing this. Yeah. eBay was busted, sending people out to harass people that were trying to sue them. Death threats, breaking into houses, physically assaulting people.
It's like people that build free energy devices.
Mm-hmm.
They'll put a video out, they'll start doing it, after it'll be fine, and then strangely the video will get took down and the channel gets shut down. And you wonder why, and then the police came to my door and they say I'm doing this and that, and they framed me for this and they framed me for that. See, can you imagine what the world would be like if everybody was allowed to create what they wanted?
Worst case scenario, once again, it'd be chaos because there's a lot of people who do not need to have any of this technology in their hands. Yeah. Most of them are government officials.
Here's an interesting thing. Whatever happened to that kid? Now, I'm not talking about the kid for Russia that said he was born in Mars. I'm talking about the other kid that drew hieroglyphs all around his room. Remember? And he said he was in contact with an alien race, and then he just disappeared. Never to be seen again.
Out of France.
Yes.
I was out of France, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he just disappeared, and nobody knows where he went. To this day, nobody has.
Another episode waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should really look into that too to see if any of his stuff matches what I've been drawing.
Well, yeah, I think the video is online, actually. The video's online. The CIA will be running about the new, right? Delete it!
CIA are some shady motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly every major legitimate conspiracy, drug runs, sex trafficking, child trafficking, all that, if you do enough digging, bounces back to the CIA. Why do you think Kennedy was trying to take him down? Don't shoot me!
I think we need to do a show on the Kennedy assassination because there's more to the Kennedy assassination than people realise. Marilyn Monroe, she knew something, and then mysteriously she was found dead. I think he told her there was aliens were real, and then she was going to tell the world, and then she was found dead. Yeah.
all I got to say, there was that love triangle. There are files on Marilyn Monroe because she did that. And the whole paper trail that they were watching her close is publicly available now. But like you said, and like I said last couple times we brought this topic up, pillow talk does a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Just think about it. The Kennedy boys, they ain't exactly going to be having blood running to the head on their shoulders.
It's quite interesting because Kennedy actually wrote a speech to talk about extraterrestrials visiting the Earth. And a week before that, was it 2 weeks before it, or was it a week before it, he was assassinated?
Within the week.
Within the week.
I would have to dig that up, but I was the one that found those speech notes.
So there you go.
And you got to remember, leading up to his assassination, he was also talking about shadow governments.
Yeah.
People ruling the rulers.
Yep.
Now, allegedly, word is to the grapevine that the rulers of the rulers are officially kicked out. And now their underlings, not knowing what to do without the big man around, ordering them around, giving them what they want.
You froze there, Dakota. That's the CIA. Tell them to fiddle with it. Stop it, you damn CIA scum!
Every fucking time.
I know.
But basically, like I said, Kennedy was talking about shit, and a lot of the ones that are supposed to be in charge of these darker powers are allegedly kicked out. Now the younger ones are scrambling. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be handing over the keys to the good guys here very soon.
It was quite interesting what you were saying there. A lot of the world leaders have been dying off.
Very true. There has been a disturbing pattern lately. Now, granted, what was it, 2016, where all of a sudden the death rate was skyrocketing out of like fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Where it seemed like every other day, someone of high position was all of a sudden passing away. Now, granted, when you think about it, that would be about the same time baby boomers would start entering their 50s. So it was expected that some sort of jump in death rates was going to occur around that time.
Yeah.
But with lately, let's see, in the weeks before, watch it, I'm going to freeze here as I say this. In a couple months before the Queen passed away, if I remember correctly, this is just off the top of my head, so don't quote me exactly. At least 15 global leaders have died.
Yes. I know.
Some under unusual circumstances.
Russian president. The ex-Russian president, Boris Yeltsin. He died. Hey, Mike the Naked Bigfoot.
But you also got to remember that is Russia, and they're getting ready to turn guns on their own citizens.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the chaos new in Iran? Have you seen what's happening in Iran? Because
we're going to see a lot more of those.
Yeah. Yeah. They think Iran's about to collapse. Russia is about to collapse because the war's just madness. And I'm actually worried. I think Putin is mad enough, and I'm just going to say his name, he's mad enough to do something, to use tactical nuclear weapons.
Okay, here's the thing. All right. With the situation with Ukraine, there's a point I've been stuck to, and the more that comes out, the more it really is proving my point.
You're freezing. Every time you were talking about that, you started to freeze.
I know, every time, like right on cue. So, I'm just going to say that in hopes that StreamYard fixes it after everything's been officially published, because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
A lot of speculation when Putin initially initiated the invasion of Ukraine was that something was wrong with Putin. He's been a long supporter of the Soviet Union. He's a high-ranking member of KGB. he was dedicated to pull off, and he's been talking for years about trying to reunite the Soviet Union.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden he pulls off this invasion. Something that was a bucket list push. He had news that his life was about to end.
Yeah.
Now there's reports coming out that he may actually have some form of dementia and some form of blood cancer. That's why he did it.
He's actually meant to have, like, is it severe kidney disease? Is it? I don't know what stage that would be, like stage 4 kidney disease.
Stage 4, no turning back.
Yeah, because seemingly that's what's out there. Mm-hmm.
Now, and
but, you know,
here's something you also got to think of. Elena Denon, I know I refer to her books, but you got to understand, this woman's been helping me prove that I'm not totally insane. Stretch that is. There is an arc in the Ukraine near Kiev. That's supposed to have highly medicinal plants that have been genetically modified by extraterrestrials to be utilized as a gift. There's a known base for a group known as the Intergalactic Confederation. It's a group that travels from galaxy to galaxy to try to help out each galaxy's own galactic federation in their endeavors.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They're back, and one of the races has a bases in Russia and Ukraine. Now, all of a sudden, when you think about it, we got these UFO reports. Now, obviously, they're trying to wipe it off as war tensions, but think about it. If you have a house set up somewhere, you're trying to conduct your own experimentations, knowing that somebody may start kicking down the door one day because they don't like you messing around in their affairs. All of a sudden, you're dropping bombs. Don't you think you're going to be a little tempted to fire back?
Yeah. I think, see, everybody will ask, where is this UFO buried, this ark? And it's buried in the Ukrainian, see it's got a name, it's a sand. It's all sand for miles. All it is massive, it's underneath there. And there's actually ones in Russia where it's just all sand, and it's underneath that. Nothing grows. And they're actually all over the world.
Of the facility.
Yeah.
The radiation of the facility. There's one within a couple hours drive from me where if you were to take a Geiger counter, it would go absolutely off the scale if you were to visit one of these regions. And you would notice several electromagnetic phenomena, such as rocks seemingly floating in space.
Yeah.
You may even feel physical sickness. There may be burn marks on local wildlife that try to walk through there. Basically, everything that they say Chernobyl's supposed to have right now is what's happening in these regions.
Yeah. Well, and I would just like to say to everybody in the chat, welcome Mike, the Naked Bigfoot, and I would just like to say that is a story for another time. That's for you, Mike. You know, but as a story for another time, you know, because we've come up to the end of the hour, you know.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks about trying to keep it somewhat short for the shrinking attention spans of the world is that when you get into these topics, there's so much here.
I know. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic week. And everybody in the podcast side. And remember, check out each other's channels and everybody can grow together, you know. Dakota, would you like to say anything before we leave, before we go off?
Well, like Chris and I were saying, this next weekend we are going to take a little bit of time off. You may see a bit of a Ghost Squad Scotland takeover one of those days just so we can fill the time. But we have a lot of interesting topics coming about. We have incredible guests, honestly, ones we never thought would say yes to coming on with us. But, hey, we're grateful. We have UFO experimentations coming out to which anybody who has any sort of psychic inclinations, be careful because this is supposed to make you go into overload. You may see some stuff coming up because, as I was kind of alluding to before, the old gods are back. So, and they're waiting for an invite to come right in. Be sure to check out everybody's channels. We do have Unity TV on the TV network now to help showcase, paranormal investigators. We're offering this completely free. It'll add your videos to the circulation. It runs 24/7. All you need for it is a YouTube channel and your embedding turned on. Yeah. Which, Sherry, you may need to go in and update your settings because none of your videos are wanting to work.
Yeah. What's that? Smith Family Paranormal and Thursday with Sherry and I, right? Yep, that's right. Thursday is Sherry doing the show on Thursday with Smith Paranormal?
I guess so.
Guess so.
Unless I must have missed a message or two.
Oh, okay. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to thank everybody that's in the chat tonight, the 46 people on YouTube and the 329 all over the different networks and locations. So, thank you everybody for coming to the show tonight, and hopefully next week we'll see you again. Well, not next week, but the week after it, the Monday.
October 3rd, Christina Gomez is coming on. Plus, we're going to have a special trailer for the documentary that...
Yes.
Hopefully, with as many people that jumped on board, we're going to have some serious attention to it. So,
yes. So take care, guys. Be safe and have a great, great week. Catch you later.
Much love. Stay safe. See you next time.